Chapter 5478. Gu Fei hadn't expected Sacred Lord Void Sky to be so ruthless. That old bastard had imprisoned his senior brother, and continuously devoured his senior brother's cultivation. Sacred Lord Void Sky was too ruthless. Of course, if that old bastard wasn't ruthless, he wouldn't have gotten himself into such a miserable state. When Gu Fei thought about how he had almost been killed by Sacred Lord Void Sky, he almost went crazy. If he hadn't cultivated the Heaven Ascension secret technique, he would have been dead by now. The senior brother of Sacred Lord Su Tian was naturally extremely powerful, but right now, he was as skinny as a stick and his aura was extremely weak. Most likely, 80% to 90% of his cultivation had been sucked away by Sacred Lord Su Tian. If Sacred Lord Void Sky hadn't wanted to obtain the method to return to the Void Realm from Sacred Lord Chaotic Sky, Sacred Lord Chaotic Sky would have sucked away all of his cultivation. Why didn't Sacred Lord Chaotic Sky know the method to return to the Void Realm but not Sacred Lord Chaotic Sky? That was because when Sacred Lord Chaotic Sky and Sacred Lord Chaotic Sky left the Void Realm, Sacred Lord Chaotic Sky thought that they would be able to return to the Limitless Realm. However, Sacred Lord Chaotic Sky was different. He was extremely cautious and left behind a backup plan before leaving the Void Realm. As for what Sacred Lord Chaotic Sky had left in the Void Realm, only he knew. "You don't like these chaotic creatures, right? How about giving them to me?" After Gu Fei helped Holy Master Chaotic Heaven remove the 2 iron hooks that were hooked onto his shoulder blades, Holy Master Chaotic Heaven stared at the dozens of chaotic creatures that were imprisoned by Holy Master Void Sky in the valley. Gu Fei naturally knew what this fellow wanted to do. Sacred Lord Chaotic Sky had sucked away 80 to 90% of this fella's cultivation. Now that he was free, the first thing he wanted to do was to recover his cultivation. For an existence like Sacred Lord Chaotic Sky, the fastest way to recover his cultivation was to devour the vitality of other powerful creatures. In Sacred Lord Chaotic Sky's eyes, the dozens of chaotic creatures that Sacred Lord Void Sky had imprisoned in the valley were like great nourishment. If he could devour all the vitality of these chaotic creatures, he could recover at least 50%, or even 60% of his cultivation base. After all, the weakest of the chaotic creatures imprisoned in the valley by Sacred Master Su Tian were at least in the Eternal Realm, while the strongest were at the half-step Infinity Realm. These chaotic creatures were born in the chaos, so they were already extremely powerful. After a long period of cultivation, these chaotic creatures' cultivation was naturally astonishing. Furthermore, weaker chaotic creatures weren't even qualified to be imprisoned here by Sacred Master Su Tian. "No!" Gu Fei refused directly. These dozens of chaotic creatures were still of great use to him. "You little fella, aren't you being too stingy? Aren't they just some chaotic creatures? How about this Holy Lord owes you a favor?" Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven looked at Gu Fei and said. "He was really too weak. When I saved you, didn't you already owe me a huge favor?" Gu Fei looked at Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven with a faint smile. Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven didn't know what to say when he heard this. If Gu Fei hadn't saved him from the bronze pillar, he didn't know how long he would have been hanging there. This was a life-saving favor, a huge favor. At this moment, Gu Fei suddenly attacked. "What are you doing?" Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven was shocked. He was extremely weak. Although the iron hook on his shoulder blade had been taken off, he hadn't even recovered 10% of his cultivation base. He couldn't dodge Gu Fei's attack at all, so Gu Fei directly grabbed his head. A seal rushed out of Gu Fei's palm and entered Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's head. It was instantly imprinted on his spirit soul. "You!" Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven was really shocked. This little fella had actually done something to his spirit soul. With Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's cultivation base, he naturally felt the change in his spirit soul. His spirit soul had been shackled by a secret skill. "I'm sorry!" Gu Fei retracted his right hand from Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's head. "What the hell did you do to my divine soul?" Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven said angrily. His voice was trembling because he didn't even need to think to know that this wasn't a good thing for him. "It's nothing. Your life and death are in my hands, Gu Fei said nonchalantly. What? Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven was so angry that his vision turned black. He staggered and almost fell to the ground. He had just escaped from the tiger's claws and entered the wolf's den. If I wasn't lucky, I would have been tricked to death by that old B*****starred Su Tian. I don't trust you. It's better to be careful, Gu Fei said calmly. Being tricked by Sacred Master Su Tian once was enough. He didn't want to be tricked again because he wasn't so lucky every time. Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven was infuriated, but there was nothing he could do because he was extremely weak. In fact, even if he recovered his peak cultivation, he might not be able to defeat this little guy. He could tell that Gu Fei had a great success of the Supreme Ultimate Realm. Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven only had a great success of the Supreme Ultimate Realm when he was at his peak. Well, don't think that you'll be free after killing me. If I die, your body and soul will be destroyed too. If I die, you'll be in big trouble, Gu Fei said proudly. Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven was speechless. This little B*****starred was too much. It's not difficult for you to recover your cultivation. I'll give this world that old B*****starred Su Tian left behind to you. After saying that, Gu Fei waved his right hand and all the chaos creatures in the valley, as well as the entire valley, were sucked into his internal world. This Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven only felt the world spin before he appeared in a place filled with spirit chi. The law of heaven and earth in this world was very strong, and it was almost a perfect world. You actually have a great world? Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven was very surprised. Why? Splitting the sky and earth doesn't seem to be difficult, Gu Fei said disapprovingly. Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven didn't know what to say. Splitting the sky and earth wasn't difficult, but refining the world into a nearly perfect great world wasn't an easy task. The world that Su Tian left behind is yours. After saying that, Gu Fei waved his right hand and a black hole suddenly appeared behind Holy Master Turbid Heaven. Divine Lord Chaotic Heavens was sucked into the black hole and disappeared in an instant. The next moment, the black hole disappeared into the void. After devouring the world that Sacred Master Su Tian left behind, this guy's cultivation should be able to recover 30% or 40%. Chapter 5479. Gu Fei directly moved the valley where Sacred Master Su Tian had imprisoned the chaotic creatures into his inner world. He stood above the valley and looked down at the ferocious, terrifying, and powerful chaotic creatures. His heart was as calm as a mirror. The lowest cultivation level of these chaotic creatures was the Eternal Realm. Among them, 3 were particularly powerful. They were in the half-step to Infinity Realm, which was not much inferior to Yan Huatian and Hongxing. If these guys broke out of the valley, Gu Fei's inner world would also be in chaos. However, Gu Fei would never let this happen. He pondered for a while and then waved his right hand. Dozens of divine lights immediately rushed out of his hand and fell directly into the valley. They entered the bodies of the chaotic creatures imprisoned in the valley. Roar! An earth-shattering roar immediately came from the valley. Then, Gu Fei released a sword light and cut off the iron chains on all the chaotic creatures imprisoned in the valley. From now on, I am your master. Your life and death are in my hands. Gu Fei stood with his hands behind his back and looked down at the chaotic creatures in the valley. His voice rang in the minds of every chaotic creature. TSK, you little brat! What makes you think you can be our master? A wolf demon walked out. It was a chaos heavenly wolf. It was extremely powerful and had a peak Eternal Realm cultivation level. Its demonic aura was extremely powerful. That's right. Not even Void Sky could make us submit. A chaotic creature sneered. Is that so? Then you can all die. Gu Fei suddenly smiled evilly. The next moment, he stretched out his right hand and snapped his fingers. Then, the Chaos Heavenly Wolf and the chaotic creature exploded at the same time and turned into a cloud of blood mist. Both their bodies and souls were directly destroyed. Gu Fei stretched out his right hand and grabbed at the 2 clouds of blood mist. 2 powerful waves of vital energy transformed into a beam of divine light and rushed towards him, disappearing into his palm. Gu Fei instantly devoured the primordial qi of the two chaotic creatures. At the sight of this, the initially restless beings of chaos were scared out of their wits. Indeed, this human held their lives in his hands. With a snap of Gu Fei's fingers, the two chaos creatures were annihilated in body and soul, and their vitality was also devoured. All the chaotic creatures in the valley were shivering in fear. To them, this was definitely the most thorough way to die. What? Is there anyone else who's not convinced? Feel free to step forward. Gu Fei swept an indifferent glance at the chaotic creatures in the valley and said. At this moment, how would those chaotic creatures dare to stand out? The human in front of him was even more decisive than Sacred Lord Su Tian. He had killed two creatures of the chaotic world without saying anything. Saint Master Su Tian merely wanted to imprison them, and had no intention of killing them. However, this human was different. He had killed two of the chaotic creatures right off the bat. Your subordinate is willing to serve you as my master. All the chaos creatures in the valley kowtowed to Gu Fei simultaneously. A wise man submits to circumstances. Very good. Gu Fei nodded. All of you stay here and wait for my summons. After saying that, Gu Fei disappeared into the void without waiting for them to reply. When he came out, he was greeted by a scene of destruction. Rumble! The world left behind by Sacred Lord Su Tian shook violently. Pitch-black spatial cracks spread across the sky like spider webs. A powerful figure sat cross-legged in the middle of the world, desperately devouring the power of the world in this world. The balance of this world had been broken by this figure. The laws of heaven and earth had collapsed, and endless power of heaven and earth gathered towards this figure. He was devouring the sky. This person was Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven. The extremely weak Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven lacked vitality. Therefore, he wanted to devour the sky. As he continuously devoured the power of heaven and earth, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven's aura became stronger. He was no longer as weak as before. His muscles and bones were expanding, his face was rosy, and his white hair had turned white. This fella. Gu Fei was speechless. This fella really devoured Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven's world. He wasn't holding back at all. The power contained in Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven's world was still very strong. Soon, the world started to collapse. The power of the four elements surged out. The power that erupted from the destruction of heaven and earth was naturally terrifying. However, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven continued to devour this power unscrupulously. His aura rose rapidly, and his cultivation recovered very quickly. Gu Fei naturally wouldn't care about this fella. He had planted a forbidden technique on this fella. He could kill this fella with just a thought. The terrifying power of destruction of heaven and earth surged towards Gu Fei. The earth, mountains, rivers, and the void were collapsing and turning into destructive power. Everything in this world was collapsing and being destroyed. A star fell from the sky and smashed towards Gu Fei. Gu Fei didn't care about the star that was smashing towards him. Boom! When the star was about 300 meters away from Gu Fei's head, it exploded and collided with an invisible force field. The huge explosion was earth-shattering, and dust filled the air. The power released by the explosion of the star couldn't move Gu Fei at all. Gu Fei naturally didn't care about this power. However, this didn't mean that Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven didn't care about it. Right now, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was simply too hungry to be picky. Anyone else would have been scared silly by such a shocking scene. However, Gu Fei didn't care about this destructive scene. He walked out of this destroyed world step by step. Behind him, the void was collapsing, the earth was cracking, and the water, fire, and wind were wreaking havoc. The destruction of heaven and earth caused quite a commotion in the primal chaos. Very soon, Yan Wu appeared nearby. You did this? Yan Wu immediately sensed Gu Fei nearby. At their level of cultivation, they could even sense each other's aura in the primal chaos. Why do you think I did this? Gu Fei asked helplessly. Who else could it be? Yan Wu said coldly. On the flame star, only Gu Fei Yan Wu and Death Yan Wu were infinite primes. Destroying a region of the world would be a piece of cake for an infinite prime. And him? Gu Fei pointed in the direction of the destruction. What? Chapter 5480. Rumble. Heaven and earth were destroyed. The world that sacred Lord Void Sky left behind finally collapsed completely. The terrifying power of destruction that was released caused the entire chaotic space to boil. An extremely powerful aura erupted from the primal chaos. That is... Yen Wu was shocked when she felt this aura. You know that guy? Gu Fei looked curiously at Yen Wu. Void Sky's senior brother, Chaotic Heaven. Yen Wu gritted her teeth. You really do know that guy? Gu Fei wasn't very surprised because Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was Sacred Lord Void Sky's senior brother. Back then, Sacred Lord Void Sky had come to the boundary of the everlasting realm with Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven. Void Sky and Chaotic Heaven had roamed together and discovered another super great world in the primal chaos, the Flame World. However, not long after they discovered the Flame World, Sacred Lord Void Sky plotted against Sacred Lord Void Sky and imprisoned him in the world that Sacred Lord Void Sky had created. Yen Wu never dreamed that she would be able to see Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven again. Sacred Lord Void Sky could even plot against her senior brother, so she naturally could do the same to Yen Wu. However, Sacred Master Void Heaven had only made a move against Yen Wu after imprisoning Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven. Therefore, Yen Wu didn't have any grudges with Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven. However, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was Sacred Lord Void Sky's senior brother. Yen Wu hated Sacred Lord Void Sky to the extreme, so she naturally hated Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven as well. At this moment, a figure walked out of the chaotic aura. This person had a head full of black hair, a tall stature, and a straight eyebrow that was incomparably mighty. An incomparably domineering aura erupted from his body. Gu Fei was slightly surprised when he saw Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven. Before, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was as skinny as a stick and extremely weak, as if he could die at any moment. However, it was as if this guy had become a completely different person now. It's really you! Yen Wu was enraged when she saw that person. In the next instant, she disappeared into the void. What? Gu Fei didn't think that Yen Wu would make a move. At this moment, Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven had only recovered 30 to 40% of his cultivation after devouring the world left behind by Sacred Master Void Sky. Just as he was about to come over to meet Gu Fei, his vision suddenly went black. He was actually punched by someone. This punch landed squarely on his left eye, causing his vision to go black and stars to dance around. Who ambushed me? Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was enraged. The next moment, his eyes were hit again, and he was punched again. Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven was enraged. He was a dignified Holy Lord, but he was actually punched twice in the face. His eyes instantly turned into panda eyes. Kill! Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven was enraged. In the next moment, countless divine lights rushed out of his body and penetrated in all directions. This was an indiscriminate attack. Every beam of divine light that shot out of Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven's body pierced through the chaotic void. No matter where the person plotting against him was, they would be forced back by Sacred Lord Turbid Heaven's move. However, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven had miscalculated. Yen Wu completely ignored the sharp divine lights that shot out of Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven's body. The divine lights were repelled by an invisible force 3 feet away from her. She raised her leg and kicked Holy Master Muddy Heaven's head, sending him flying into the primal chaos aura. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was depressed. He had just devoured the world left behind by Sacred Master Void Sky and recovered 30 to 40% of his cultivation. Yet, he was beaten like a dog. What made him even more depressed was that he didn't even see who was beating him up. This was going too far. I say, can you not bully my people? Gu Fei couldn't help but say. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was his subordinate, and he was also his most capable subordinate. If Yen Wu crippled him, it would be a huge loss. Your people? Yen Wu was stunned. This fellow had even subdued Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven? How was that possible? Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was that bastard Void Sky's senior brother. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven's cultivation should be about the same as Void Sky's. Back then, when Chaotic Heaven and Void Sky worked together, even Yen Wu was beaten up badly. Of course, if Yen Wu faced either Void Sky or Chaotic Heaven alone, she could still put up a fight. Whose people do you think he is? Gu Fei said impatiently. You should have said so earlier. I'm leaving, Yen Wu said and disappeared into the chaotic aura. She left very decisively. Gu Fei was also speechless. Did he just beat him up and leave? Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven had been beaten up for nothing. At this moment, an angry roar sounded. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven broke through the chaotic aura and rushed back, but Yen Wu had already left. Was it Yen Wu, that girl? Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven was furious. However, even though he was angry, he didn't dare to cause trouble for Yen Wu because he had only recovered 30 to 40% of his cultivation. On the other hand, Yen Wu was a supreme existence born from the Flame World's will. Even at his peak, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven might not have been able to defeat Yen Wu. What, the great Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven is afraid? Gu Fei looked at Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven in surprise. Sigh. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven sighed. Times are different now, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven said helplessly. He had been imprisoned by his junior brother for countless years. His junior brother had absorbed 80 to 90% of his cultivation. If Gu Fei had not discovered the valley, he did not know how long he would have been hung on the bronze pillar. Now, he had only recovered 30 to 40% of his cultivation. With his current cultivation, he was as weak as an ant in Yen Wu's eyes. When Yen Wu attacked just now, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven did not even see her shadow, let alone counterattack. This was the difference between them. If Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven, who had lived for countless years, could not even see how strong Yen Wu was, then he didn't need to live anymore. You also know that times are different now. You are mine now. In the future, follow me. We will enter the everlasting realm together, and find that old bastard Void Heaven, Gu Fei said to Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven. Void Heaven, that bastard! Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was so angry when Sacred Lord Void Heaven was mentioned that his body trembled. Old bastard Void Heaven, I'll let you roam freely in the everlasting realm for a few days. Gu Fei gritted his teeth and said. Sacred Lord Void Heaven was willing to do anything to return to the everlasting realm. He even tricked his own senior brother. Gu Fei, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven, and Yen Wu had a common enemy, Sacred Lord Void Heaven. Once they entered the everlasting realm, Sacred Lord Void Heaven's good days would come to an end. Let's go back to the Flame Star first. After saying that, Gu Fei disappeared into the primal chaos. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven hurriedly chased after him. How did the Flame World become like this? Chapter 5481. The Flame World used to be a super great world, and this super great world was second only to the Infinite Realm. It was even bigger than the Void Realm, and its laws were stronger than the Void Realms. However, such a super great world had become a star in the primal chaos. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was stunned by the scene in front of him. The laws of the current flame star were incomplete. Although this star was still huge, it couldn't compare to the flame world of the past. It's your junior brother's doing, Gu Fei said. What? Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was stunned when he heard this. Void Sky, that bastard, destroyed a super great world? This was simply devoid of conscience. Was he crazy? One had to know that the flame world was a super great world. There were countless beings in this world. Sacred Lord Void Sky destroying this world was the same as killing all the beings in this world. Slaughtering countless beings would cause the wrath of the heavens. Of course, with Sacred Lord Void Sky's cultivation, he wasn't afraid of the wrath of the heavens. Crazy, crazy, he's really crazy, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven murmured. His voice was trembling. Destroying a part of the world wasn't a big deal for existences like them. However, destroying a super great world was a different story. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven had devoured the heaven and earth left behind by Sacred Lord Void Sky. Destroying such a heaven and earth was a piece of cake for Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven because there weren't many living beings in the heaven and earth left behind by Sacred Lord Void Sky. Moreover, this world had been created by Sacred Lord Void Sky herself. The flame world was a super great world formed by the heavens and earth. It wasn't a world created by someone. Divine Spring of Life? Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven, who had recovered from his shock, immediately sensed the vitality on this star. Don't even think about the divine spring of life, Gu Fei said coldly. Without the divine spring of life, how can I recover my cultivation in such a short time? Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven said angrily. What? You dare to disobey my orders? Do you not want to live anymore? Gu Fei snickered coldly. Holy Lord Chaotic Skies immediately cowered. He had no choice but to cower. This was because his life and death really depended on a single thought from the other party. If the other party wanted to kill him, he would explode on the spot with a single thought. His body and soul would be destroyed. Very good, you are now my subordinate, understand? Gu Fei said indifferently. Holy Master Chaotic Heaven was speechless. However, the situation was stronger than him. In front of Gu Fei, he was just an ant. He could only listen to Gu Fei. When we return to the Void Realm, are you still worried that you won't be able to recover your cultivation? Gu Fei said. Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven's eyes lit up. Let's go! Gu Fei brought Holy Master Chaotic Heavens back to the Grand Mist Divine City. Then, Holy Master Chaotic Heaven started to set up a teleportation array on the plaza of Hongmeng Divine City. He was building a teleportation array that could be used to return to the Void World. At this time, a storm was brewing in the Void Realm. Thousands of years had passed, and the power structure of the Void Realm had undergone earth-shattering changes. The Limitless Demon Lord and the Snow Demon had divided the entire Middle Sky. Moreover, the Snow Demon had subdued the Eastern Wasteland Demon race and became the supreme demon race in the Void Realm. The Buddha race had been defeated and forced to retreat to the southern barbarians. The disciples of the Middle Sky Buddha race had been killed by the Limitless Demon Lord. The West Sea Dragon race had also moved to the southern barbarians. The entire West Sea Dragon race had become the domain of Holy Master Void Heaven's Incarnation. Holy Master Void Heaven's Incarnation had also conquered the North Ruins. The North Ruins Ghost Emperor was a fence-sitter. When Holy Master Void Heaven's Incarnation arrived, he immediately surrendered. On the other hand, the Bone Emperor had escaped to the southern barbarians when he received the news. These people who were subdued by Gu Fei actually knew that Gu Fei wasn't dead. Because they were still alive, Gu Fei had planted a forbidden technique on them. If Gu Fei died, their bodies and souls would be destroyed. However, they were still alive and well. This was also the reason why the Bone Emperor and the others didn't dare to betray Gu Fei. Because once Gu Fei returned, those who betrayed Gu Fei would definitely die. At this time, in the southern barbarians, Gu Fei's power had increased greatly. Because of the addition of experts like the Bone Emperor and the West Sea Old Dragon, Xiaoye and Long Xiaoro had some confidence. Moreover, the Shaman Emperor was also in the southern barbarians. Moreover, the 4 great generals under Gu Fei were also in the southern barbarians. In fact, other than the lack of Boundless Realm experts in the southern barbarians, there were also many Emperor Realm and Transcendent Emperor Realm experts. The Limitless Demon Lord really wanted to kill Gu Fei's disciples and grand disciples, but Holy Master Void Heaven's Incarnation didn't allow it. Because when Gu Fei stepped on the formation platform of the realm wall to the Limitless Realm, they had already made a promise to Gu Fei that they wouldn't touch his people. Holy Master Void Heaven's Incarnation seemed to have a much more righteous sense than his main body. The limitless fire spirit that Gu Fei subdued surrendered to the Limitless Demon Lord. Although the limitless fire spirit surrendered to the Limitless Demon Lord and fought for the Limitless Demon Lord, it was very careful. On the surface, it was very loyal to the Limitless Demon Lord, but in fact, it was secretly looking forward to the return of Gu Fei. It didn't help the Limitless Demon Lord to attack the southern barbarians. As for the Tian clan, they became an exception in the middle sky. The Tian clan directly closed their ancestral land and hid in their ancestral land. As long as it wasn't those boundless realm experts who made a move, no one could do anything to the Tian clan. Moreover, those boundless realm experts were very clear that the ancestor of the Tian clan, Yu Xian'er, and the Ling Tian Palace master of the Ling Tian Palace could fuse together and become the limitless sword master. Most importantly, Yu Xian'er and the Ling Tian Palace master didn't have an immortal body. This was a secret that only the Holy Master Void Heaven's incarnation, the limitless demon lord, and the snow demon knew. This was also the reason why they didn't attack Yu Xian'er and the Ling Tian Palace master separately. The limitless sword master wouldn't make such a low-level mistake. The Ling Tian Palace was also closed now. The Tian clan's ancestral land and the Ling Tian Palace were two places with extraordinary status in the Void Realm. After thousands of years, the limitless demon lord became more and more impatient. His subordinates kept invading the southern barbarians. Everyone knew that the day when the limitless demon lord would attack the southern barbarians was not far. Moreover, the Holy Master Void Heaven's incarnation didn't seem to want to care about the southern barbarians at this time. In the past few hundred years, the Holy Master Void Heaven's incarnation had been in seclusion and hadn't appeared. Snow Demon stayed on her snow mountain and wouldn't easily leave the middle sky snow mountain. The limitless demon lord's people were very active in the area between the middle sky and the southern barbarians. Someone noticed the unusual movements of the limitless demon lord's army. Southern barbarian royal city, in the palace hall. Your Highness, what should we do? Xiaoya stood next to the throne. The throne was empty. Only Gu Fei was qualified to sit on this throne. Different situations call for different actions. What are you nervous about? That's right. It's not like we haven't fought with the limitless demon lord's devil army. Long Xiaozhou, who was sitting on the first seat on the left of the throne, said indifferently. Chapter 5482. In the Void World, the limitless demon lord was going all out against the southern barbarians. Meanwhile, on the Flame Star, Holy Master Chaotic Heaven was busy building a teleportation array in the square of the primordial divine race's divine city. However, the teleportation array that Holy Master Chaotic Heaven was building was much more complicated than Gu Fei had imagined. Every brick used to build the teleportation array needed to be engraved with ancient and complicated Tao patterns. It was a teleportation array that could transport people infinitely far away. Even with Holy Master Chaotic Heaven's cultivation base, it wasn't an easy task to build such a teleportation array. Everyone in the primordial divine race was busy building the teleportation array. Even the Flame clan had come to help. The two major clans had collected a lot of divine materials, but Holy Master Chaotic Heaven didn't have anything on him. After he had been imprisoned by Holy Master Void Sky, everything on him had been taken away. Even his inner world had been searched by Holy Master Void Sky. He was already lucky that Holy Master Void Sky hadn't destroyed his inner world. The divine materials needed to build a super teleportation array were naturally extraordinary. Even the primordial divine race and the Flame clan didn't have that many divine materials. In the end, Gu Fei had to fork out a large portion of the divine materials, and it took him more than half a month to build the teleportation array that was dozens of feet tall. The teleportation array stood on the square like a small mountain. The entire teleportation array was built with primal chaos divine stones. This kind of divine stone was born in the primordial chaos, and it was very difficult to find. However, Gu Fei had a lot of them. Moreover, these primal chaos divine stones were the leftovers from refining the primordial chaos seal. Gu Fei's primordial chaos seal was a supreme boundless Tao artifact refined from an entire mountain of primordial chaos divine metal. The primal chaos divine stones were just waste that had been attached to the mountain of primordial chaos divine metal. Fortunately, Gu Fei had collected these waste materials, and they could be put to good use now. Not bad, not bad! When the last brick of the Chaos Divine Stone was laid, a ball of divine light emerged from the teleportation array. Every brick of the Chaos Divine Stone had an ancient and abstruse Tao pattern on it. Gu Fei exclaimed in admiration at the sight of this. His formation Dao cultivation wasn't weak, but it was far from being comparable to the chaotic heaven's sacred master. This was because even he himself could not build such a teleportation formation platform. Don't you know who I am? The chaotic heaven holy master was very pleased. Array formations were his forte. In the limitless realm, all living beings had an endless lifespan. They had enough time to study and research something. Therefore, in the limitless realm, all kinds of cultivation systems had been developed to the extreme. There weren't many people in the infinite realm who could surpass Sacred Lord Turbid Heaven in terms of arrays. Stop being so smug. How do we go back? Tell me. Gu Fei and Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven stepped onto the teleportation array together. I left a drop of my heart's blood in the void realm. That bastard void sky only left behind a clone. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven's expression was a little gloomy. Being plotted against by his own junior brother was definitely a shadow in his heart. It should be known that he and Void Sky had grown up together and roamed the world together. Even though they weren't blood-related brothers, the two of them were closer than blood-related brothers. However, this person who had been killed by his own brother had actually changed. He had become cold-blooded and heartless. In the end, he had even attacked him. After Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven had escaped, he found out that his junior brother had been crazy enough to destroy a great world. In his opinion, Sacred Lord Void Sky was really crazy. However, his junior brother had finally returned to the limitless realm as he wished. If he wanted to take revenge, he would have to return to the limitless realm first. However, it was practically impossible for the chaotic heaven's sacred master to return to the unbounded realm. Using my heart's blood as a guide? Gu Fei couldn't help but be startled when he heard this. This fellow was really ruthless to himself. That was a drop of heart's blood, not a drop of blood. Compared to ordinary blood, heart's blood was way too precious. Actually, heart's blood was just a way of saying it. Heart's blood was condensed from a cultivator's essence. It contained a cultivator's complete essence, chi, and spirit. An ordinary clone couldn't compare to it. This was especially true for an existence like Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven. A drop of his heart's blood was actually another version of himself. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven's blood might even have the chance to grow into another Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven. Gu Fei finally understood why Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven could return to the Void Realm. He had actually left a drop of heart's blood in the Void Realm. Using the heart's blood as a guide, he could return to the location of the heart's blood no matter where he was. You also know of this secret technique? Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven stared at Gu Fei in shock. TSK, what kind of secret technique is this? Gu Fei was truly speechless. This kind of divine ability wasn't actually a secret. However, Gu Fei was wrong. The Divine Master of the Chaotic Heaven's Divine Lord's Heart's Blood Guide was unique and surpassed the limits of time. Seeing Gu Fei's indifferent expression, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven felt somewhat embarrassed. In his opinion, this divine ability was amazing, but in Gu Fei's eyes, it wasn't even worth mentioning. Can this formation platform be used now? Gu Fei asked. Not yet, I still need to make some arrangements, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven said hurriedly. He also wanted to return to the Void Realm. After all, the Flame Star lacked everything, and he couldn't just absorb the divine spring of life to recover his cultivation base. After returning to the Void Realm, he could retrieve the drop of heart's blood he had left in the Void Realm. After all, he could recover at least 30% of his cultivation base. All right, take your time to set it up. With these words, Gu Fei directly left. At this moment, he sensed Yan Wu's aura. Oh my, why is our flame fairy in the mood to stroll around here? Upon seeing Yan Wu, Gu Fei walked up to her with a smile. I say, old Gu, don't be so talkative. Tell me, what are you doing? Yan Wu asked directly. What can I do on the Flame Star? Gu Fei asked helplessly. You built the formation platform behind my back. Where do you want to go? Yan Wu said with a cold smile. Haha, you've seen through me. Are you interested in taking a trip with me? Gu Fei laughed. Where to? Are you going to the boundless realm? Yan Wu said mockingly. What are you talking about? If I could go to the boundless realm, would I still be here chatting with you? Gu Fei said snappily. Then you're going to another world, Yan Wu said in a low voice. It's really boring here. I want to go back to where I came from and see where my disciples are. Gu Fei stopped smiling and said with a solemn expression. Where you came from? Hearing this, Yan Wu became even more interested. Since Gu Fei was so amazing, she was really curious about what kind of world he came from. Chapter 5483. Two figures stood high up in the sky. They were Gu Fei and Yan Wu. Humph! Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven, who was busy carving an array platform on the Chaos Divine City's plaza, raised his head and sneered in the direction of Gu Fei and Yan Wu. Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven had also sensed Yan Wu's aura, but he pretended not to notice. This was because Holy Master Chaotic Heaven knew very well that he wasn't a match for Yan Wu right now. Although he really wanted to settle the score with Yan Wu, he needed to recover his peak cultivation at the very least. Otherwise, he would be courting death. Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven struggled to carve array patterns on the array platform. This was the core array pattern, and he couldn't afford to be careless. If he made a mistake, the entire array platform would be destroyed and he would have to rebuild it. This was an array platform that had taken Holy Master Chaotic Heaven more than half a month to build. If he destroyed this array platform because of a small mistake, he would probably vomit blood. Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven carefully carved the array patterns, and his forehead was soon covered in sweat. Meanwhile, Gu Fei was flirting with Yan Wu in the sky. I want to see what kind of place you came from. I can't believe such a monstrous genius like you came from, Yan Wu said. I'll inform you when the array platform is completed. Gu Fei smiled. I hope you won't disappoint me. After saying that, Yan Wu disappeared into the void. She had left. Gu Fei was speechless. Yan Wu had left so decisively. The news of the primordial divine race and the Flame clan working together to build an array platform in Hongmeng Divine City had spread. The commotion caused by old ancestor Chaotic Heaven's construction of the array platform was too big, and many of the major forces' spies had snuck into Hongmeng Divine City. A huge array platform the size of a small mountain stood on the plaza of Hongmeng Divine City. It was too eye-catching, and it was impossible not to notice it. All the major forces on the Flame Star were alarmed. As a result, the number of spies around Hongmeng Divine City increased. Hongmeng Divine City belonged to the primordial divine race, and not everyone could enter and leave freely. Only members of the primordial divine race could enter and leave the city freely. Outsiders were forbidden from entering the Hongmeng Divine City. Of course, there was an exception, and that was the Flame clan. The Flame clan had yet to find a place to move, and they could only set up camp in the plaza of Hongmeng Divine City. This was Gu Fei's tacit consent, and no one dared to say anything. However, it would be difficult for the various superpowers' spies on the Flame Star to enter the Hongmeng Divine City. Moreover, it was extremely dangerous. If they were discovered by the Grand Mist Divine race, there would only be one outcome for the outsiders: death. The Grand Mist Divine race had never shown mercy to outsiders who dared to barge into the Grand Mist Divine City. As long as they caught them, they would be killed on the spot. The Divine Spring of Life was located in the Grand Mist Divine City, and it was the lifeblood of the Grand Mist Divine race. In order to protect the Divine Spring of Life, the Grand Mist Divine race was willing to do anything. During these days, there was one person in the Grand Mist Divine clan who was depressed. That person was Hong Zuier. After teasing Gu Fei in her drunken stupor, she couldn't forget about Gu Fei. However, Gu Fei seemed to have forgotten about what had happened that night, and he didn't even bother to punish her. While Holy Master Chaotic Heavens was setting up the transmission array, Hong Zuier left the city to relieve her boredom. She only brought along 2 attendants, as she rode the Black Dragon Divine Colt out of the Hongmeng Divine City. Hong Zuiyer's appearance immediately attracted the attention of the various superpowers' spies outside the city. The Grandest Divine Race's hunting ground was located on a primitive mountain ridge 100 miles away from the Hongmeng Divine City. The hunting ground was huge, and there were all kinds of fierce beasts raised by the Grandest Divine Race. The fierce beasts in the hunting ground weren't very strong, but it had become a training ground for the younger generation of the Grandest Divine Race. For the past several hundred years, the younger generation of the Grandest Divine Race had to hunt a fierce beast in the hunting ground to be considered as an adult. The coming-of-age ceremony had become a tradition of the Grandest Divine Race. If one failed to kill a fierce beast and couldn't complete the coming-of-age ceremony, it would be extremely embarrassing in the Grandest Divine Race. To Hong Zui and the others riding the Black Dragon Divine Colt, 100 miles was a distance that they could cover in less than an hour. Of course, if they flew, they could reach the hunting ground in less than an hour. When Hong Zui arrived at the hunting ground with the two maids, someone came up to them. When they saw Hong Zui, they hurriedly saluted and led the Black Dragon Divine Colt away. "Let's go! I want to kill that Wolf King today," Hong Zui said as she rushed into the hunting ground. "Young miss, wait for us." The two maids hurriedly chased after Hong Zui. The three of them quickly disappeared into the mountain ridge. "Did you hear that? Young Miss Zui wants to kill the Wolf King in the mountain," one of the Grandest Divine Race's disciples at the hunting ground's entrance exclaimed to his companion beside him. "I'm not deaf, of course I heard it. That young Miss Zui has been coming here to hunt for the past half a month, but I don't see her killing the Wolf King," the Grandest Divine Race's disciple said disapprovingly. I have a feeling that things might be different this time." "Then, why don't we make a bet?" "Let's bet. Who's afraid of who? And I bet that young Miss Zui can't kill the Wolf King." "All right, whoever loses has to hand over a month's worth of cultivation resources." "How about that?" "That's it." While the two Grandest Divine Race's disciples were making their bet, the roars of fierce beasts rang out from the mountain ridge. At this time, several figures evaded the Grandest Divine Race's disciples guarding the hunting ground and entered the hunting ground stealthily. Their target was naturally Hong Zui. "Chaos Wolf King, I'm coming." At this time, Hong Zui looked like she had been injected with chicken blood as she charged towards the Chaos Wolf King's lair excitedly. The Chaos Wolf King wasn't the powerful existence born from the chaos that had died in Gu Fei's hands. This Chaos Wolf King was merely the Chaos Wolf King that had a trace of chaos bloodline in its body. Even so, this Chaos Wolf King was incomparably powerful. With Hong Zui's cultivation, it wouldn't be easy for her to kill the Chaos Wolf King. Otherwise, she would have come here many times. If she could kill the Chaos Wolf King, she would have done so long ago. Why would she wait until now? Never in her wildest dreams would she have imagined that while she had her eyes on the Chaos Wolf King, someone else had their eyes on her. This was really the case of the mantis stalking the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. At this time, the mysterious figures were moving swiftly through the mountain ridge, and were about to catch up to Hong Zui and the others. Chapter 5484. The primordial Chaos Divine Tribe had developed well on the Flame Star. They occupied a huge territory and even had a hunting ground for their young disciples. The hunting ground was huge. The entire mountain range spanned tens of thousands of miles. In the depths of the mountain range, there were many powerful Beast King-level beasts. The Chaos Wolf King was one of the Beast Kings. The Chaos Wolf King's territory spanned over 1,000 miles. If other Beast Kings trespassed into its territory, the Chaos Wolf King would rush out and chase them away. At this time, the ferocious Chaos Wolf King was targeted by someone. The person who targeted the Chaos Wolf King was Hong Zui of the primordial Chaos Divine Tribe. Hong Zui was the granddaughter of the primordial Chaos Divine Tribe's ancestor, Hongjin. She was famous for her love of wine. Hongjin's cultivation was in the extreme Dao realm. Hong Zui was a half-step extreme Dao realm cultivator. Even though Hong Zui loved wine, she was a rare genius among the younger generation of the primordial Chaos Divine Tribe. However, the Chaos Wolf King was no weakling. It was on par with Hong Zui. Hong Zui had already fought a few battles with the Chaos Wolf King. Wolf cub, get your ass out here right now! Hong Zuer climbed up a small hill and yelled at the valley opposite her. Her voice reverberated through the mountains. Little girl, you still dare to come? A wave of spiritual will spread out from the valley. At its cultivation realm, the Chaos Wolf King was also proficient in transformation. It had already gained intelligence, and was even more cunning and vicious than humans. One had to know that it was the Chaos Wolf King. Cunning and vicious were its characteristics. Tisk, why wouldn't I dare to come? Today, I will send you on your way. Hong Zuer sneered. Haha, is that so? Do you have the ability? The Chaos Wolf King laughed disdainfully. Cut the crap. Let's fight. Hong Zuer had originally come here to find the Chaos Wolf King to fight and vent her frustrations. She immediately flew into the sky from the mountain peak and dove into the valley in front of her. Miss! Her two maids were shocked and wanted to rush in as well. All of you, wait outside. Hong Zuer's voice came from the valley. This? The two maids didn't know what to do. Roar! The howl of a wolf rang out from the valley. A powerful wave of yuan qi immediately spread out from the valley, causing the entire valley to tremble. Inside the valley, Hong Zuer was fighting a giant silver wolf. The giant silver wolf moved quickly around Hong Zuer, leaving behind a series of afterimages. The giant wolf's sharp claws constantly tore at Hong Zuer. A sharp blade of light shot out from the silver wolf's sharp claws and tore through the void. Hong Zuer was extremely calm. She threw out punch after punch, directly blasting away the light blades that were tearing at her. This was the Grandest Divine Fist of the Grandest Divine Clan. It was a simple fist technique, but its power was shocking. The Chaos Wolf King attacked Hong Zuer ferociously. However, it could not break through the primordial fist force that exploded from Hong Zuer's fist. Roar! The Chaos Wolf King roared out furiously as it attacked with all its might. Its pair of sharp claws seemed to be able to tear the void apart. However, no matter how ferocious and violent the Chaos Wolf King's attack was, it was useless. All of its attacks were blocked by Hong Zuer's fists. At this moment, Hong Zuer had actually entered a strange state of cultivation. She was originally extremely frustrated, but now, her state of mind was as calm as a mirror. There was not a single ripple in her heart. Furthermore, her current sensory abilities were extremely shocking. Even though this Chaos Wolf King was moving rapidly around her, her senses told her that this Wolf King was moving in slow motion. You're too slow, Hong Zuer said. Her tone was extremely calm. What did you say? The Chaos Wolf King was instantly enraged. This last actually said that its movements were slow? You don't believe me? Hong Zuer's lips curled into a cold smile. In the next moment, her feet moved and she disappeared from the spot. Then, a fist instantly enlarged in front of the Chaos Wolf King's eyes, directly smashing into its right eye. The Chaos Wolf King felt its vision go black. It saw stars and almost fainted. It immediately retreated. However, Hong Zuer was like a shadow. She threw another punch at the Chaos Wolf King's left eye. The Chaos Wolf King started to doubt its wolf life. Was its movements really slow? I've already said that you're too slow. Hong Zuer's tone was still very calm. You! The Chaos Wolf King was shocked and furious. It had never expected that Hong Zuer's cultivation level would increase so much in just a few days. To think that she could hit it so easily. In the past half a month, it had fought with this lass multiple times. However, it had never been in such a pathetic state. It was actually hit by this lass twice in a row. Furthermore, it was on its face. At this moment, Hong Zuer's battle strength was at its peak. Her speed was extremely fast. Even the Chaos Wolf King, which had always been known for its speed, could not shake her off. Hong Zuer attacked calmly and threw another punch. As for the Chaos Wolf King, it actually could not dodge Hong Zuer's punch. Once again, Hong Zuer's punch landed squarely on its body, sending it flying. Boom! With a loud bang, the Chaos Wolf King's humongous body directly smashed into the rock wall hundreds of feet away. A huge crater was formed in the incomparably sturdy rock wall. Gravel flew everywhere. At this moment, Hongzueer actually showed signs of breaking through to the extreme Tao realm. Just as Hongzueer was beating up the Chaos Wolf King, 3 black figures stood on the short mountain outside the valley. On the ground in front of these 3 mysterious figures there were 2 corpses. Hongzueer's 2 maidservants were actually killed by these 3 mysterious figures. "There's no turning back now that you've killed someone from the primordial chaos race," one of the black-robed masked men sneered. "TCH, isn't it just killing 2 people from the primordial chaos race? What's there to be surprised about?" Another mysterious figure said disdainfully. Hongzueer's 2 maidservants did not have much status in the primordial chaos race. They were not core members of the race. However, they were still members of the primordial chaos race. After killing them, Hongzueer would definitely not let it go so easily. But so what? Their target was Hongzueer. "When Hongzueer and the Chaos Wolf King are both injured, that will be the time for us to make our move." The leader of the mysterious figure's voice was incomparably cold and emotionless. From the moment they set their eyes on Hongzueer, there was no turning back. At this time, in the city lord's manor of the Hongmeng Divine City, Gu Fei's mind was wandering. His divine sense enveloped the entire heaven and earth. Naturally, he could sense everything that was happening in the primordial chaos race's hunting ground 100 miles away. "Someone actually has designs on that little girl?" Chapter 5485. On the Flame Star, with Gu Fei's cultivation, he could cover a radius of billions of miles with a single thought. At this time, even though Gu Fei was in the Hongmeng Divine City, his mind was still wandering around. His faintly discernible divine sense was still roaming between heaven and earth. Then, he saw an interesting scene. It wasn't a secret that the Hongmeng Divine race had a hunting ground 100 miles away from the Hongmeng Divine City. The Hongmeng Divine race used this hunting ground to train their younger generation. In the past 1,000 years, the Hongmeng Divine race had been on the right track. However, ever since Gu Fei returned, everything had changed. The Hongmeng Divine race's efforts in the past 1,000 years had almost gone to waste. Everything that belonged to the Hongmeng Divine race didn't belong to them anymore. Even the entire Hongmeng Divine race had become someone else's slave. Everything that belonged to the Hongmeng Divine race didn't belong to them anymore. Of course, Gu Fei wasn't a harsh master. He was still very tolerant towards his subordinates. Basically, he was a hands-off boss. Gu Fei wouldn't interfere with the Hongmeng Divine race's internal affairs, and he couldn't be bothered to. This made the Hongmeng Divine race's ancestors heave a sigh of relief. Meanwhile, in the depths of the Hongmeng Divine race's hunting ground, in the valley where the Chaos Wolf King's lair was located, the Chaos Wolf King's roar shook heaven and earth. Powerful vital energy fluctuations surged out from the valley. On the short mountain outside the valley, the 3 mysterious experts stood quietly on the top of the mountain, motionless, like 3 statues. In the valley, the Chaos Wolf King charged at Hongzueer like a madman. However, no matter how ferocious the Chaos Wolf King's attacks were, they were easily blocked by Hongzueer's fists. Hongzueer's punches were simple and direct. However, every punch contained the essence of the Great Tao, and it had the power to turn something rotten into something magical. How is this possible? The Chaos Wolf King was depressed. He had just been punched twice in the face by Hongzueer. Now that he had used his trump card, he still couldn't do anything to her. This Chaos Wolf King had been cultivating for a much longer time than Hongzueer. In the eyes of the Chaos Wolf King, Hongzueer was really just a little girl. However, Hongzueer had a good background and was a genius of the primordial Chaos God race. This was something that the Chaos Wolf King could not compare to. Family background was also a kind of capital. The Grandness Divine clan's inheritance was definitely extraordinary. One had to know that the Grandness Divine clan was once one of the 10 strongest superpowers in the Flame world. This was the difference between Hongzueer, who had a powerful inheritance, and the Chaos Wolf King. Boom! Hongzueer was conjuring the Great Tao. With a single punch, she sent the Chaos Wolf King flying once again. The Chaos Wolf King was extremely depressed right now. He had fought with Hongzhi a couple of times before as well. However, all of them ended in a draw. Hongzhi couldn't gain any advantage over him at all. But now, in such a short period of time, he was actually not a match for this little girl. How did this little girl's cultivation suddenly soar? Boom! The Chaos Wolf King smashed into the forest in the valley, causing chaos in the forest. At the next moment, the Chaos Wolf King rushed out of the forest, coughing out blood continuously. The power of Hongzhi's punch was not small. Moreover, the power of Hongzhi's punches grew stronger and stronger. She punched out again, causing the void to tremble. Spatial ripples visible to the naked eye spread out from her fists. Without any suspense, the Chaos Wolf King that was pouncing towards Hongzhi was sent flying once again. At this time, Hongzhi had entered a mysterious state of cultivation. Her great Tao was constantly evolving and perfecting itself. Her cultivation had actually broken through under such circumstances. Interesting. In the Hongmeng Divine City, Gu Fei chuckled when he saw this scene. Hongzhi actually broke through at this time. How unexpected! In the Grand Mist Divine Clan, as long as one's cultivation broke through to the extreme Tao realm, they could become the clan's patriarch. If Hongzhi's cultivation successfully broke through to the extreme Tao realm, she would be the youngest patriarch in the history of the Grand Mist Divine Clan. Impossible! The Chaos Wolf King went berserk. He immediately conjured his heaven and earth Dharma idol, and a silver wolf that was bigger than a mountain appeared between heaven and earth. The huge wolf claw slammed down on Hongzhi. Chaotic chi swirled around the wolf's claw, and the sharp claws tore through the void. The Chaos Wolf King was also a half-step extreme Tao expert. At this moment, he already knew that Hongzhi was breaking through the shackles of her cultivation. Her cultivation was about to break through to the true extreme Tao realm. This was definitely not a good thing for the Chaos Wolf King. He was no match for Hongzhi now. If Hongzhi's cultivation broke through to the extreme Tao realm, he would die a horrible death. Under the Chaos Wolf King's huge claw, Hongzhi was as small as an ant. However, even though Hongzhi's body couldn't compare to the Chaos Wolf King's, the yuan qi in her body was extremely strong. She directly punched at the wolf claw that came crashing down from the sky. Bam! A dull thud resounded. Her small fist actually blocked the huge wolf claw. Damn it! The Chaos Wolf King desperately circulated the yuan qi in its body, wanting to slap Hongzhi to death under its claws. However, Hongzhi's right foot stomped on the ground. Her entire spine shook violently, and an even stronger force immediately exploded from her right fist. Boom! The ferocious fist force directly shattered the Chaos Wolf King's huge wolf claw, turning it into a cloud of blood mist. Roar! The Chaos Wolf King roared and turned to escape. No matter how unwilling it was, it had to escape at this moment. This was because it knew that it was no longer this little girl's match. If it continued to fight with this little girl, it would definitely be the one to die. Hongzhi didn't chase after the Chaos Wolf King. This was because she had reached the most crucial moment. An extreme Tao mark was constantly collapsing and reforming on her glabella. Every time it reformed, the great Tao mark on her glabella would become clearer, and it would become more complete. At this moment, the Chaos Wolf King charged out of the valley. The victor has been decided so quickly? On the short mountain outside the valley, the leader of the mysterious men in black said with some surprise. In order to deal with Hongzhi, they already knew everything about Hongzhi. Hongzhi and this Chaos Wolf King had battled a few times, and it had always ended in a draw. Today, the battle between Hongzhi and the Chaos Wolf King had actually ended so quickly. This was beyond the expectations of these mysterious men. The Chaos Wolf King, which was even bigger than a mountain, directly charged towards the mountain that the three mysterious men were on. This was because the mountain that the three mysterious men were on was directly facing the valley's exit. The three mysterious men hurriedly charged into the sky. Boom! Immediately after, there was a loud sound. The Chaos Wolf King that had charged out of the valley had actually slammed its head into the short mountain in front of the valley's entrance. The entire short mountain was smashed into pieces, and it fled in a pathetic manner. Chapter 5486. In the depths of the primordial Chaos Divine Tribe's hunting grounds, the Chaos Wolf King escaped from the valley. This time, the Chaos Wolf King was scared out of its wits. In its panic, it slammed its head into the small mountain opposite the valley. The entire small mountain was smashed into pieces by the giant wolf. In an instant, rocks flew everywhere, and dust filled the air. The entrance to the valley was in chaos. As for the three mysterious men who had their eyes on Hong Zuair, they were scared out of their wits. What was the Chaos Wolf King doing? Was it rushing to reincarnate? The leader of the mysterious men was relatively calm. However, his two subordinates widened their eyes and were dumbfounded. The Chaos Wolf King was a powerful existence that was half a step into the extreme Tao realm. His escape with all his might had caused quite a commotion. What's happening in the mountain? Outside the hunting grounds, several primordial Chaos Divine Tribe disciples looked into the depths of the mountain. What else is going on? Our young miss is having fun in there. But the commotion this time is a little too big. Looking at the dust rising into the sky from the depths of the mountain, the primordial Chaos Divine Tribe disciples were shocked. They had not caused such a commotion in the past few times. At this time, in the Chaos Wolf King's lair, endless heaven and earth spiritual energy gathered towards a figure from all directions and was directly absorbed. Not good! Outside the valley, the mysterious leader seemed to have sensed something and couldn't help but be shocked. Boss, what's wrong? One of the mysterious men asked anxiously. Hong Zuair is breaking through. As the mysterious leader spoke, his figure disappeared into the void in the next moment. He was nowhere to be seen. What? The two mysterious men were shocked. Hong Zuair was a half-step extreme Tao existence. If she made a breakthrough in her cultivation, wouldn't she be in the extreme Tao realm? Once she broke through to the extreme grade realm, their plan would not be able to proceed any further. Not only would their plan be ruined, but they would also have to flee for their lives. At this time, the leader of the mysterious men had already rushed into the valley and saw Hong Zuair standing in the void. Hong Zuair stood quietly in the air, surrounded by spiritual light. Endless spiritual chi of the world frantically gathered towards her and entered her body. At this moment, Hong Zuair's entire body was like a bottomless pit, crazily devouring the surrounding spiritual energy. I'm really going to break through. How can I let you break through? As the mysterious man spoke, he flipped his right hand and a handful of black beads appeared in his hand. Without hesitation, the mysterious man waved his hand and threw the black beads at Hong Zuair. More than a dozen black pearls instantly smashed in front of Hong Zuair. Rumble! In the next moment, a thunderclap shook the heavens as the black beads exploded several meters away from Hong Zuair. A powerful force of destruction erupted, directly drowning Hong Zuair within it. Boss, this! The other two mysterious men rushed over. The mysterious leader stared at the destructive flames that exploded in front of him. The black beads he threw out were the thunderbolt fireballs that were famous even in Flame World. When he threw out the thunderbolt flame ball, even a half-step extreme Tao expert would have to dodge it. However, at this moment, a figure charged out from the ball of lightning fire and pounced towards the three mysterious people. What? When the three mysterious people saw this, they were really shocked. Good, you're here. I'll use you as a practice target. Hong Zuair bellowed and threw a punch at the three mysterious men. Hum! The void trembled as countless fist shadows appeared in the void, crashing towards the three mysterious men in an overwhelming manner. The three mysterious people were shocked and immediately scattered. However, the shadows of the fists were like shadows. They could even turn and attack the three mysterious people separately. The three mysterious people immediately took out their weapons. The leader flipped his right hand and a demonic saber immediately appeared in his hand. Kill! The person roared and slashed forward with all his might. An extremely sharp saber light rushed out of the demonic saber in the hands of the mysterious person. It instantly soared for thousands of meters, broke through the countless fist shadows, and slashed towards Hong Zue'er, who was behind the fist shadows. Another mysterious person wielded a demonic spear and also attacked towards Hong Zue'er with great vigor. The last mysterious person released poison directly. A poisonous mist spread out in the surroundings, causing the surrounding flowers and trees to wither and turn yellow very quickly. "Who are you?" Hong Zue'er was shocked and furious. She had no choice but to retreat. Especially the mysterious person who released the poison. The poison that he released was extremely domineering. Even Hong Zue'er would not dare to touch such a terrifying poisonous mist. "Boss, do we kill or follow the plan?" The mysterious person who released the poison said loudly. "We won't kill if we can capture her. If we can't, we'll kill her," the leader of the mysterious people roared. "Understood." The two mysterious people immediately chased after Hong Zue'er. "You sneaky bastards, you still want to capture me?" Hong Zue'er's figure was like a phantom as she moved quickly in the void. She dared not let the person who released the poison get close to her. Moreover, she was one step away from breaking through the shackles of her cultivation base and breaking through to the extreme Tao realm. Therefore, she chose to retreat. "Don't let her escape," the leader of the mysterious people shouted. The three mysterious people in black chased after Hong Zue'er without hesitation. At that moment, the people outside the hunting ground thought that Hong Zue'er was fighting the Chaos Wolf King. They did not expect that someone would sneak into the hunting ground to capture Hong Zue'er. Interesting. In the Hong Meng Divine City, the corners of Gu Fei's mouth curled into a sneer. These three people were actually demons. On the Flame Star, there was only one group of demons that dared to go against the Grand Mist Divine race, and they were the Grand Mist Demons. Of course, other than the Grand Mist Demons, there were other demons on the Flame Star. However, how could those small fries dare to go against the Grand Mist Divine race? Don't they know how powerful the Grand Mist Divine race's backing is? Gu Fei had not expected that there would still be people who wanted to cause trouble at this time. If I don't cause trouble for them, they would be lucky to have the guts to cause trouble for the Grand Mist Divine race. Since those people want to play, let's play with them. I'm bored anyway. After saying that, Gu Fei stood up from the throne and walked out of the hall. Soon, a group of people rushed out of the Hong Meng Divine City and headed towards the hunting ground. The hunt has begun. Gu Fei rode on a black dragon colt and blended into the group of people. The leader of the group was Hong Zue'er's grandfather, Hong Jin. Hong Jin was a true extreme Tao realm expert. Chapter 5487. The hunt had begun, and the mysterious organization had set their sights on Hong Zue'er. However, no one had expected the Grand Mist Divine race's backer to be Gu Fei. Gu Fei was an expert in the Peerless Realm. According to Holy Master Chaotic Heaven, there were only a few experts in the Peerless Realm who had reached the Peerless Realm in the entire Endless World. With just a thought, Gu Fei could cover hundreds of millions of miles. Hence, Gu Fei had sensed the mysterious organizations plotting against Hong Zue'er. Before long, Hong Jin led his men to the mountain range where the Grand Mist Divine race's hunting ground was located. Surprisingly, Gu Fei had mixed in with Hong Jin's subordinates. Among the entire group, only Hong Jin knew about Gu Fei's background. Hong Jin trembled with fear. After all, news of his granddaughter teasing Gu Fei while she was drunk had spread throughout the entire Hong Meng Divine City. When everyone thought that there was something going on between Hong Zue'er and Gu Fei, there was no news about them. Some people said that a big shot like Gu Fei wouldn't be interested in a drunken girl like Hong Zue'er. Others said that Gu Fei had taken a liking to Hong Zue'er since a long time ago. Otherwise, why didn't he punish Hong Zue'er after she had teased him? During this period, the rumors about Gu Fei and Hong Zue'er had troubled Hong Jin greatly. Of course, in his opinion, if Gu Fei really took a liking to his granddaughter, it would be great news for the Grand Mist Divine race. If that happened, the Grand Mist Divine race would be able to get rid of their status as Gu Fei's servants. They would be able to turn over and become the master of the Grand Mist Divine race. The difference between the Grand Mist Divine race and the Yen clan was like the difference between heaven and earth. However, the Hongmeng Divine clan was uneasy as Gu Fei had never mentioned the matter again after that. Since Gu Fei didn't mention it again, no one dared to. Master, why do we have to ride horses? We can just fly there. Hongjin transmitted a message to Gu Fei. He was a bit anxious, because someone wanted to do something to his granddaughter. However, what puzzled Hongjin was that Gu Fei actually wanted them to ride the Black Dragon colts to the hunting grounds. Even though the Black Dragon colts were divine steeds nurtured by the Grand Mist Divine race, they were nothing more than divine steeds. However, no matter how godly a Black Dragon colt was, it was impossible for it to be faster than flight. That's more like hunting, Gu Fei said. He was enjoying the fun of hunting. If he wanted to kill those mysterious people, they would have died a long time ago. But what fun was there in killing them all at once? Hongjin was even more baffled when he heard that. Suddenly, Gu Fei sensed Yan Wu's divine sense fluctuations. What does she want? Gu Fei could not help but frown. Yan Wu's divine sense had instantly disappeared. Even he had failed to lock onto Yan Wu's exact location. Who cares? Gu Fei wanted to enjoy the fun of hunting, so he ignored Yan Wu. The two of them shared the same life. If one of them died, the other would have to follow. Therefore, Gu Fei was not afraid that Yan Wu would harm him. Under Hongjin's lead, dozens of people rode on the Black Dragon colts. They were like a black gust of wind as they sped across the plains. The Black Dragon colt's speed was not bad. Very soon, Hongjin led a dozen of his subordinates to the entrance of the hunting grounds. Outside the hunting grounds, the disciples of the primordial Chaos Divine clan who had received news of ancestor Hongjin's arrival stood respectfully on both sides of the entrance to welcome him. How long has Zuier been in there? Hongjin dismounted from his horse and grabbed the steward of the hunting grounds who was about to salute him. He roared at the steward and spat on his face. This, replying to ancestor, Miss Zuier has been in there for more than half a day. The hunting grounds steward panicked and replied hurriedly. What? More than half a day? Hongjin was dumbfounded. More than half a day had passed. Didn't that mean his precious granddaughter was in danger? When he thought of this, he couldn't help but glance at Gu Fei. Seeing that Gu Fei was still as calm as before, he felt a little relieved. Activate the formation and seal off the entire hunting grounds. No one is allowed to leave without my orders. Hongjin roared at the steward of the hunting ground. Yes. The steward of the hunting ground was so frightened that he broke out in a cold sweat. The aura coming from Hongjin's body made him tremble with fear. Hongjin was an extreme Dao realm ancestor of the primordial Chaos Divine clan. Humph! Hongjin directly threw the steward of the hunting grounds to one side, then led a group of subordinates, abandoning the Black Dragon colt that they were riding, and rushed into the hunting grounds. There were naturally people to deal with the Black Dragon colts. As soon as Hongjin and the rest entered the hunting grounds, the formation was activated. A layer of divine light appeared above the mountain range and enveloped the entire hunting grounds. Spread out and search! Hongjin ordered his subordinates. Yes! The dozens of subordinates Hongjin had brought with him obeyed the order and rushed into the mountain range. However, there was one person who didn't move. It was as though he hadn't heard Hongjin's order. When all the men disappeared from his sight, Hongjin eagerly ran up to the man. Master, what should we do next? Hongjin asked cautiously. Let me see your hunting skills. Gu Fei looked at Hongjin with a faint smile. Yes, master. In the next moment, Hongjin seemed to have become a different person. His entire aura changed. Hongjin immediately displayed his superb hunting ability. Very soon, he found the traces left behind by Hong Zuier and followed it all the way. Although he had found the traces left behind by Hong Zuier and her maidservant, he didn't summon his subordinates because he knew that Gu Fei didn't want his subordinates to follow him. However, a half-step extreme Dao realm expert called Hong Ping appeared nearby and caught up to Hongjin and Gu Fei. This was because this disciple of the primordial chaos divine clan had also found Hong Zue'er's traces. With Hong Ping around, Hong Jun and Gu Fei naturally couldn't speak casually because Gu Fei didn't want to expose his identity. They followed the traces all the way to the valley where the Chaos Wolf King's lair was located. They saw the mess on the other side of the valley. After the Chaos Wolf King had smashed the short mountain, the entire area was filled with gravel and dust. The entire area had been destroyed. That is, Hong Jun found a corpse. It was one of the two maidservants that Hong Zue'er had brought with her. Damn it! Hong Jun was shaking with anger. Chapter 5488. Hong Jun, Gu Fei, and the half-step extreme Dao realm expert Hong Ping found the Chaos Wolf King's lair. When they saw the mess outside the valley, they were shocked and enraged. Moreover, they found the corpse of Hong Zue'er's maid. Even though she was a maid, she was still a member of the primordial divine race. Those people actually dared to kill a member of the primordial divine race. This was equivalent to declaring war on the primordial divine race. At this time, Gu Fei hid his identity. He was currently a subordinate of Grandness God Race's old ancestor Hong Jin, with a peak eternal realm cultivation. To Gu Fei, controlling his aura and vital energy fluctuations was a piece of cake. Moreover, no one could see through his cultivation. This was because no one's cultivation was higher than his. How could anyone with a cultivation lower than Gu Fei see through Gu Fei's cultivation? If he wanted to conceal his strength, even an infinite prime like Yan Wu wouldn't be able to see through Gu Fei's cultivation, let alone others. Go in and take a look, Hong Ping said to Gu Fei. Hong Jun was shocked. Hong Ping actually dared to order his master around. All right. Gu Fei smiled and nodded. He took a step forward and entered the valley. In fact, he didn't need to enter the valley to know everything. However, he was currently Hong Jun's subordinate in the peak eternal realm. Therefore, with Gu Fei's current identity, Hong Ping could order him around. There was no other reason. In the primordial divine race, those with higher cultivation had the right to order those with lower cultivation. This was the principle of the strong being respected. Indeed, the strong being respected. This was also why the primordial divine race could become the ancestor of the primordial divine race as long as their cultivation broke through to the extreme Dao realm. Hong Ping was a half-step extreme Dao realm expert. Naturally, he could order around the current Gu Fei. Ancestor, why are you looking at me like that? At this time, Hong Ping realized that the ancestor Hong Jun was glaring at him. From the looks of it, Hong Jun was about to pounce on him and tear him apart. Nothing. Hong Jun realized that he had lost his composure and hurriedly turned around. His hands were clenched into fists, and his entire body was trembling. He really could not help but beat up Hong Ping just now. That was the master. This guy actually dared to order the master around. Hong Jun was about to go crazy. Hong Ping, on the other hand, was baffled. He had no idea that he had done something that would drive Hong Jun crazy. Gu Fei quickly walked out of the valley. There's nothing inside, Gu Fei said. Let's go in and have a look. As Hong Jun spoke, he entered the valley with Hong Ping and Gu Fei. Then, they saw more traces of fighting. The people who left these marks were Hong Zue'er and the three mysterious experts. With Hong Jun's tracking skills, he quickly found the direction in which Hong Zue'er and the others had left the valley. Zue'er is being attacked by 3 people. Hong Jun sneered. What are we waiting for? Gu Fei said. And Hong Jun followed the traces left behind by Hong Zue'er. Gu Fei followed behind Hong Jun unhurriedly. Even Hong Ping, who did not know Gu Fei's identity, could not help but look at Gu Fei a few more times. Before long, there was a fluctuation of yuan qi in front of them. Hong Jun did not think too much about it, and immediately rushed forward. Several figures were chasing after one another in the mountains. A figure was fleeing in front, while 3 black figures were chasing after him. You 3 bastards, you deserve to die! Hong Jun roared and soared into the sky, pouncing towards the people chasing after each other in the mountains. His roar reverberated through the mountains. What? Extreme Tao realm, run! The three mysterious people in black were shocked when they saw Hong Zhen pouncing towards them. The three of them could not be bothered to chase after Hong Zue and fled in different directions. Hong Zhen was the ancestor of the primordial divine clan and had a powerful cultivation base in the extreme Tao realm. Such an existence was not someone they could fight. Where do you think you're going? Hong Zhen was infuriated. These people actually dared to kill a member of the primordial divine clan. They really deserved to die. Hong Zhen's body blurred, and in the next moment, 3 Hong Zhens appeared in the void. These 3 Hong Zhens immediately chased after the 3 mysterious people who were fleeing in different directions. External doppelganger? Gu Fei was a little surprised that Hong Zhen had actually cultivated this kind of martial path remarkable ability. The ancestor is finally here. Only then did Hong Zue stop and take a break. These 3 detestable people were really hard to deal with, especially one of them who was proficient in poison techniques. His ability to release poison was not to be underestimated. Hong Zue was still one step away from breaking through the shackles of her cultivation base and becoming a true ancestor of the extreme Tao realm. If it weren't for these 3 people causing trouble, she would have broken through to the extreme Tao realm long ago. Ancestor, I'll be leaving first. Hong Zue roared in Hong Zhen's direction and soared into the sky, disappearing into the mountains. She had to find a place to make her final breakthrough as soon as possible. What could be more important than breaking through her current cultivation base? Hong Zue didn't even see Gu Fei. At that moment, the 3 figures that Hong Zhen had transformed into had already caught up to the 3 mysterious people. Hong Zhen didn't have any subordinates, so he directly attacked. The 3 mysterious people couldn't even withstand a single attack from Hong Zhen's doppelganger, and were instantly killed. This was how powerful and terrifying an extreme Tao realm ancestor was. In the eyes of other living beings on the Flame Planet, an extreme Tao realm ancestor was synonymous with power. Hong Zhen, how dare you kill my people! Just as Hong Zhen killed the 3 mysterious experts, an angry roar came from the distance. In the next moment, a figure appeared in the sky above the mountains, and a powerful extreme Tao realm aura descended from the sky. The entire sky darkened, and a terrifying devil Tao aura swept across the sky. The primordial demons? At that moment, 3 figures charged at each other. Hong Zhen's figure appeared in the sky, and he looked coldly at the demonic figure in front of him. Kill! The demonic figure roared angrily and threw a punch at Hong Zhen. They're going to fight just because they don't like each other? Gu Fei couldn't help but frown when he saw this. The extreme Tao realm great demon of the primordial demons was very murderous. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Hong Zhen sneered and slapped the demonic figure with his palm. A powerful palm force surged from his palm, and the surrounding sand and pebbles were sent flying. Bam! The fist and the palm collided with each other, producing a dull sound. The 2 figures separated in an instant. The palm force that came from the sky directly swept away the trees on the mountains, and the mountains were in chaos. The 2 extreme Tao realm experts started fighting. Chapter 5489. Before the flame world was destroyed, the primordial demons were already one of the 10 strongest factions in the flame world. There were countless experts among the demons, and the primordial demon lord was even more mysterious. No one had ever seen his true face. There was actually no suspense in this matter. It was all because of the primordial demons. They wanted to capture Hong Zue and control her. Unfortunately, the primordial demons did not expect that Hong Zue's cultivation realm would actually break through at this time. 3 half-step extreme Tao experts could not capture Hong Zue. This made the primordial demon's ancestor, Meng Lian, very depressed. He had no choice but to rush over personally. However, just as Meng Lian arrived, he saw Hong Zhen execute his mystique and kill the 3 subordinates he sent out. As a result, the 2 extreme Tao powerhouses began to fight. They fought from the sky to the ground, and from the ground to the sky. Powerful extreme Tao level power spread out, and dust flew everywhere in the mountain ridges. Rocks flew everywhere, and it was a mess. Countless beasts in the mountain range fled in fear. The Chaos Wolf King hid as far away as it could. This was because a battle of this level was no longer something a half-step extreme Tao expert could interfere with. Of course, anyone who was tired of living could interfere. It was obvious that the Chaos Wolf King had not lived long enough. Hongjin was a little depressed. His granddaughter actually ran away after seeing him. Gu Fei was a little bored from afar. A battle of extreme Tao experts! Hong Ping, who was beside Gu Fei, was extremely excited. One should know that a battle of this level was not something he could encounter often, especially now that he was a half-step extreme Tao expert. This battle was crucial to whether or not he could break through to the true extreme Tao realm. If he could comprehend something from this battle, he would have a chance to break through to the true extreme Tao realm. "Brother, why are you so happy?" Gu Fei smiled. He was only Hongjin's subordinate below the extreme Tao. "Do you know how to address me as uncle?" Hong Ping was a little displeased with this guy who interrupted his spectating. "Uncle?" When Gu Fei heard this, he laughed. In this world, there was probably not a single person who dared to be his uncle. This guy was amazing, he actually wanted him to call him uncle. "Don't disturb me while I'm watching the battle, understand?" Hong Ping said bluntly. I know. However, it's impossible for you to gain enlightenment from this battle and break through to the extreme Tao realm," Gu Fei said indifferently. "What did you say?" Hong Ping was even more displeased when he heard this. "Haha, forget what I said." Gu Fei shrugged. "Don't pretend to understand in front of me, okay?" Hong Ping didn't have any good expression towards Gu Fei because his cultivation was higher than Gu Fei's. Therefore, he could bully Gu Fei. After all, the weak were prey to the strong. As for Hong Ping, he believed that he understood this truth better than anyone else. Therefore, he had always been strong in front of those who were weaker than him. Okay, Gu Fei said. If this guy knew who he was talking to, he would probably pee in his pants. However, Gu Fei wanted to enjoy this kind of fun. Hong Ping didn't bother with Gu Fei anymore. This was because the battle between Hongjin and the demon expert was very important to him. He didn't have time to talk nonsense with Gu Fei. At this moment, Hongjin and the demon expert fought from the sky to the ground. The primordial divine race and the primordial demons were sworn enemies. If the two races met, they would definitely fight to the death. "Meng Lian, you sneaky bastard. You're still as despicable as ever," Hongjin said angrily as he attacked. "Tch, Hongjin, you're not much better than me," the demon expert sneered. "Heavenly slaying demon blade." The primordial demon's expert, Meng Lian, roared. In the next moment, he used his hands as a blade and slashed at Hongjin at extreme speed. Streaks of saber radiance shot out from his hand and slashed at Hongjin in an overwhelming manner. Primordial sky-splitting fist. Hongjin didn't back down. He immediately used the primordial sky-splitting fist of the primordial divine race. Countless fist shadows rushed out to meet the blade light. The fist shadows and blade light collided. Then, the fist shadows and blade light disappeared. Two powerful forces of the extreme Tao erupted. Both of them wanted to kill each other. However, their cultivation levels were the same and their battle strength was about the same. They were both ruthless people who had climbed out of a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. Be it Hongjin or Meng Lian, they were both ruthless people. It wouldn't be easy for the two of them to determine a winner and decide who lives and dies. Violent energy ripples spread out in all directions. Countless trees were torn to shreds. Even huge boulders that weighed thousands of kilograms were swept up into the air and shattered into pieces. The energy storm swept towards the place where Gu Fei and the others were. *T. Hong Ping turned around and fled. He didn't care about Gu Fei's life or death. The competition within the primordial divine race was fierce. Everyone wanted to rise up the ranks. In Hong Ping's opinion, once the fellow beside him broke through to the half-step extreme Tao realm, he would be on the same level as Hong Ping in the primordial divine race. Therefore, Hong Ping didn't want to save Gu Fei. However, Hong Ping didn't know that the person in front of him didn't need his help. This fellow. Gu Fei shook his head helplessly and fled. He didn't like Hong Ping. This fellow was cold-blooded. One had to know that Hong Ping was a member of the primordial divine race. Hong Ping was cold-blooded to his own race. One could imagine that Hong Ping was someone who would do anything to achieve his goals. Hong Jun and Meng Lian were fighting with all their might. They no longer held back. The two of them seemed to have gone mad. They attacked without any scruples in the mountain ridge. The entire mountain ridge was immediately affected. Wherever they passed, the mountain ridges would collapse. There was nothing in the mountain range that could stop them. By this time, the disciples of the Grand Mist Divine race outside the mountain ridge were already dumbfounded by the commotion inside. Who is Ancestor Hongjin fighting with? Soaring Devil Chi. Could it be the Grand Mist Devil race's extreme Dao Devils? The disciples of the primordial divine race were usually in charge of the hunting grounds. They weren't core disciples of the primordial divine race, so they were at a loss. In the primordial divine race, there was a strict hierarchy. These disciples who were in charge of the hunting grounds had never seen such a big scene before. At this time, in the depths of the hunting grounds, demon chi soared into the sky. Powerful fluctuations of origin chi spread out, and the disciples outside the hunting grounds were terrified. That's a bit too much. Gu Fei, who had retreated, couldn't help but frown when he saw the murderous aura and the billowing dust in the mountain ridge. Chapter 5490. The primordial divine tribe's hunting grounds would be completely destroyed in the battle between Hong Jun and Meng Lian. This was a training ground that the primordial divine tribe had operated for hundreds of years. It was a place to train the younger generation of the primordial divine tribe. If it was destroyed, the primordial divine tribe would suffer a huge loss. However, the ancestors of the primordial divine tribe were busy building the teleportation array for Gu Fei. None of them had the time to kill Meng Lian. What's going on? Hong Xing, who was in the primordial divine city, had already sensed the commotion 100 miles away. Focus. If you fail, I'll beat you to death. Chaotic Heaven Holy Master scolded Hong Xing as soon as he was distracted. Yes, 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 Hong Xing replied hurriedly. At this time, the array formation of the teleportation array platform had reached its most critical moment. Whether it could succeed or not depended on the success of the core array formation. Even Hong Xing and Yan Huatian, who were sworn enemies, had no choice but to join forces temporarily. Neither of them dared to be careless. The ancestor of the Grand Mist Divine race and the ancestor of the Flame Clan were busy working on the battle platform. None of them were idle. While the two races' ancestors were busy building the teleportation array, Hong Jun was fighting Meng Lian, the ancestor of the primordial demons, in the primordial divine tribe's hunting grounds. Hong Jun had no qualms about fighting Meng Lian because he knew that Gu Fei wouldn't allow him to be killed by Meng Lian. Therefore, Hong Jun didn't hold back. He used all his strength in every attack. Powerful energy erupted from his body, causing the void to tremble. Kill! Meng Lian was also fighting with his life on the line. Shadow after shadow of the demonic saber condensed around him and slashed at Hong Jun in an overwhelming manner. Every streak of blade light slashed through the void, leaving a hair-thin crack in the void. Hong Jun brandished his fists and smashed the saber radiance that came slashing at him. A ferocious fist force surged out from Hong Jun's fist. Not a single blade light could get within 3 feet of him. Meng Lian, you've regressed! Hong Jun sneered. TSK, you too! Meng Lian sneered. Go to hell! Hong Jun exploded with power. This time, he used all of his strength. All of his power was gathered in his right fist, and then he punched out. This punch was the strongest punch Hong Jun could throw, be it in terms of speed or power. Countless demonic saber lights were shattered by Hong Jun's punch. Seeing that Hong Jun was going all out, Meng Lian did not dare to be careless. He put his hands together above his head, and countless knife shadows immediately gathered in his hands. Kill! Meng Lian slashed at Hong Zhen's fist with all his might. These two lunatics are finally going to decide the victor. Gu Fei couldn't help but sigh when he saw this scene from afar. In fact, with his current cultivation base, he already knew the outcome of the battle the moment the two of them exchanged blows. It couldn't be helped. His cultivation was much higher than these two fellows. Boom! There was a loud bang. In the next moment, the two figures were sent flying. A powerful destructive force swept out in all directions, and countless trees were destroyed. A terrifying energy storm spread out, and everything within a radius of a few hundred miles was completely destroyed. Countless living beings in the mountains were finished. These living beings didn't even have the chance to escape. This was what it meant when immortals fought, mortals suffered. Hong Ping was frightened by this scene and immediately turned to escape. Gu Fei, on the other hand, was still standing there. He didn't care about the terrifying destructive storm that was sweeping towards him at all. This guy is crazy. Hong Ping saw that Gu Fei didn't escape, so he wouldn't attack him. He deserves to die. Hong Ping immediately ran away without a trace. The destructive storm that was sweeping towards him drowned Gu Fei. The destructive storm that could destroy everything in Hong Meng's eyes couldn't even enter the 3 feet of void in front of Gu Fei. Boom! There was another loud bang. Hong Zhen and Meng Lian were fighting with all their might. Both of them attacked each other without any regard for their lives. Hong Zhen and Meng Lian were sent flying again. Bam! Hong Zhen crashed into a mountain ridge, creating a huge hole in the mountain ridge. Countless gravel flew out and smashed into the mountain ridge. Meng Lian, on the other hand, fell to the ground and slid for dozens of miles before coming to a stop, creating a deep trench that was dozens of miles long. Hong Zhen, you bastard! Meng Lian lay on the ground, constantly coughing up blood. His clothes were tattered, and there were bloody wounds on his arms. Demon blood kept oozing out from the wounds. An extreme demon of his generation was actually injured. Moreover, the wounds on Meng Lian's arms couldn't be healed in a short time. Hong Zhen fell into a forest. He lay on the damp ground, panting heavily. Meng Lian's cultivation has improved by quite a bit. Hong Zhen was also shocked. Meng Lian's heaven-slaying demon blade was indeed worthy of being the primordial demon's clan guarding blade technique. Hong Zhen's body was covered in cuts, and he was covered in blood. Some of the cuts were so deep that bones could be seen. The heaven-slaying demon blade was the primordial demon's trump card. However, the primordial heaven-opening fist of the primordial divine race was not to be trifled with. At that moment, the destructive storm swept past. Gu Fei was still standing in the void, calm and composed. Not even a strand of his hair was missing. How is this possible? Hong Ping, who had escaped far away, saw Gu Fei standing in the void. His eyeballs almost fell to the ground. How did this guy survive? Hong Ping couldn't believe it. One had to know that it was a destructive force formed by two great extreme-grade powerhouses fighting with all their might. The power of two great extreme-grade powerhouses was mixed together. Even Hong Ping would not be able to withstand such a destructive force, and would be instantly killed. However, how could this guy, who wasn't even in the extreme Dao realm, withstand such a destructive force? Could it be that he has an eternal-level protective Dao weapon? A thought flashed through Hong Ping's mind, and he thought of a possibility. That must be it, Hong Ping murmured. Both sides are injured, Gu Fei muttered to himself. Hong Zhen and Meng Lian had fought to the point where both sides were injured. It was difficult for either side to kill the other. Hong Zhen, I'll settle the score with you next time. Meng Lian crushed a jade talisman as he spoke. In the next moment, a ball of demonic light enveloped him, and he was about to leave. However, at that moment, a figure appeared in the sky above Meng Lian without any warning. The moment this person appeared, the entire void seemed to freeze. Meng Lian, who was shrouded in demonic light, was frozen in the void. How is this possible? Meng Lian, who was shrouded in demonic light, was shocked. Who is this guy? Chapter 5491. In the primordial divine clan's hunting ground, Hong Jin and Meng Lian of the primordial demons were both heavily injured. Just as Meng Lian was about to leave, a figure suddenly appeared above him. He felt as if the void around him had solidified. Even Meng Lian's void-breaching devil escape talisman had lost its effect. Meng Lian was scared out of his wits by the sudden appearance of this person. A strong pressure descended from the sky and pinned Meng Lian to the ground. Meng Lian was shocked to find that he couldn't even move a finger, let alone stand up from the ground. "Who are you?" Meng Lian said with difficulty. "You don't have the right to know who I am," Gu Fei said indifferently. "What?" Meng Lian was even more shocked. Was this guy an Eternal Realm ancestor? An Eternal Realm ancestor could easily crush an Extreme Dao Realm expert. In front of an Eternal Realm expert, an Extreme Dao Realm expert was as weak as an ant. "Tell me, how do you want to die?" Gu Fei's tone was emotionless. "I don't want to die," Meng Lian said through gritted teeth. "That's not up to you." Gu Fei's tone was still as cold as ever. "You're just an Eternal Realm expert. How dare you attack us juniors? Do you have any shame?" Meng Lian roared. He thought that the person in front of him was an Eternal Realm expert of the primordial divine clan. Otherwise, how could he have been so powerless to resist? Never in his wildest dreams would he have thought that the person in front of him was one of the 3 strongest supremes on the Flame Star. If Meng Lian knew about Gu Fei's background, he would have wet his pants. An Eternal Realm expert? Gu Fei couldn't help laughing. "Yes, you really don't have the right to kill me." Gu Fei nodded. Meng Lian was pleasantly surprised. As long as this guy didn't attack him, he wouldn't die. Gu Fei thought for a moment, then flipped his right hand. A ball of divine light filled with vitality immediately appeared in his hand and turned into a ball of light. "What do you want?" When Meng Lian saw that Gu Fei was about to attack, he was shocked again. Gu Fei waved his right hand, and the ball of divine light in his hand flew out, instantly disappearing into the void without a trace. Seeing this, Meng Lian was puzzled. At the next moment, in the forest where Hong Jin was, a ball of divine light descended from the sky and entered his body. "This is..." Hong Jin, who was lying on the ground, jumped in fright. However, he immediately felt an extremely tremendous life force spreading through his body. Then, Hong Jin's injuries healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. Hong Jin slowly stood up from the ground. The injuries on his body were healed in an instant. His vitality spread throughout his body. Not only had his injuries healed, but even his cultivation realm was showing signs of breaking through. "Hurry up and get over here!" At that moment, Gu Fei's voice sounded in Hong Jin's mind. "Yes, yes, yes." Hong Jin was shocked. It was only then that he realized that his master was helping him. Only his master would have the means to do so. He hurriedly flew out of the forest and rushed in the direction where Gu Fei was. Soon he arrived behind Gu Fei. "Greetings, master!" Hong Jin knelt down in fear at Gu Fei. "Master?" Meng Lian, who was on the ground, was dumbfounded when he saw Hong Jin bowing down to this person. "I'll leave this guy to you," Gu Fei said before disappearing into the void. Before Hong Jin could react, Gu Fei had already left. "Meng Lian, to think that you would have such a day!" Hong Jin slowly stood up in the void and stared coldly at Meng Lian on the ground. "How is this possible? How did you recover so quickly? This is impossible!" Meng Lian could not help but feel shocked when he sensed the powerful aura on Hong Jin's body. Wasn't this guy seriously injured just like him? How was it possible that he was not injured at all? "Nothing is impossible. You can die now." Hong Jin did not hesitate as he punched at Meng Lian. "You!" Meng Lian wanted to say something. However, Hong Jin did not give him a chance to speak. Boom! The violent fist force slammed into Meng Lian's body. Meng Lian's body exploded and turned into a bloody mist. His body and soul were completely destroyed. After killing Meng Lian, Hong Jin appeared beside Hong Ping in a flash. "Old ancestor!" Hong Ping jumped in fright. "Go gather the others and return." Hong Jin looked at Hong Ping and said coldly, "Yes." Hong Ping acknowledged the order and left to gather the others. The battle between Hong Jin and Meng Lian had already alerted Hong Jin's subordinates. However, Hong Jin's subordinates could not interfere in a battle of this level. They had all fled as far as they could. It was not an easy task to gather them now. Hong Jin couldn't care less as he returned to the Hong Meng Divine City. At the same time, in the center of the Hong Meng Divine City, a teleportation array platform the size of a small hill stood tall. Ancient and mysterious runes flashed across the platform. The entire teleportation array platform was bustling with activity. The ancestors of the primordial divine race and the Flame Clan were busy. Still not done? When Gu Fei returned to the Grand Mist Divine City, he couldn't help but frown when he saw that Holy Master Chaotic Heaven was still instructing the two races' ancestors to set up the formation runes. He returned to the City Lord's manor. Holy Master Chaotic Heavens led the ancestors of the primordial divine race and the Flame Clan to work on the teleportation array platform for 10 days and 10 nights. On the morning of the 11th day, a beam of divine light shot into the sky without any warning. The dazzling divine light pierced through the void, and no one knew where it had gone. Success? In the City Lord's manor, Gu Fei, who was sitting cross-legged on his throne, opened his eyes. In the next moment, he disappeared into the void. When he reappeared, he was already in the sky above the teleportation array platform. You're here. Holy Master Chaotic Heavens welcomed Gu Fei the moment he saw him. Greetings, Master! The ancestors of the two powerful clans hurriedly knelt down in front of Gu Fei, who had just appeared in the sky. Rise! Gu Fei said indifferently. It's done! Holy Master Chaotic Heavens said excitedly. He didn't want to stay on the Flame Star any longer. He couldn't wait to activate the teleportation array platform and return to the Void World. Well done! Gu Fei was also excited. That day, he had been forced to use the teleportation array platform. It was an absolute humiliation to him. He wanted to return to the Void World. He wondered how Holy Master Void Sky's clones would react if they saw him in the Void World. Chapter 5492. Cheers resounded throughout Hong Meng Divine City as the teleportation array platform in the square was finally completed. The beam of divine light that shot out of Hong Meng Divine City tore through the void and disappeared. Powerful origin energy rippled in all directions. In the ancestral city of the Grand Mist Demon Clan, Yenwu opened her eyes the moment the streak of divine light shot out of the Grand Mist Divine City. What's going on? Yenwu was indescribably shocked. She felt an extremely powerful energy fluctuation, and it was coming from the direction of the Grand Mist Divine Clan where Gu Fei was. What the hell is Gu Fei doing? In the next moment, Yenwu disappeared from the ancestral city of Hong Meng Divine City. When she reappeared, she was already in the sky above Hong Meng Divine City. For an infinite grade existence like Yenwu, as long as her spirit consciousness could reach a place, she could reach it in an instant. This is... Yenwu was taken aback when she saw the teleportation formation platform in the center of Hong Meng Divine City's plaza. With her cultivation and knowledge, she could tell at a glance that this teleportation formation was extraordinary. It was an infinite-grade teleportation array platform. Is Gu Fei really going back? Yenwu was bewildered. I didn't expect you to come so quickly. A figure appeared beside Yenwu. This person was naturally Gu Fei. In the current era, the only person who could appear beside Yenwu and dared to do so was Gu Fei. They were in a life-and-death relationship. If one of them died, the other would be buried with him. The other person would also be buried with them. Therefore, not only did they want to live well, they also wanted the other person to live well. Are you really going back? Yenwu looked at Gu Fei with a solemn expression. Of course I'm going back. Gu Fei spoke indifferently. He recalled the scene when he was forced to step onto the teleportation platform by those fellows, and he felt extremely displeased when he thought of this. This was especially so for Sacred Lord Void Sky. That fellow had almost killed Gu Fei. How could Gu Fei not avenge this enmity? Since he couldn't find Sacred Lord Void Sky himself to take revenge, he would find his clone and collect some interest. Furthermore, there was still the limitless Demon Lord. That fellow was extremely hateful. When he returned this time around, he would definitely take his revenge. He wanted to let those guys know that they would have to pay the price for offending him. Gu Fei. When are you leaving? Yan Wu asked. Right away, Gu Fei said. What? Hearing this, Yan Wu was taken aback. Gu Fei was going to leave the Flame Star so soon. Once you leave, this place will be my world, Yan Wu said. Tis, do we still need to draw such a clear line between us? Gu Fei smiled. What do you mean? Hearing this, Yan Wu raised her eyebrows and glared at Gu Fei angrily. Ha ha, the ruler of the Flame World, to think that there would be a day when she would marry someone. At this time, an old voice sounded, and a figure appeared in front of Yan Wu. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven had arrived. In fact, he had already sensed Yan Wu the moment she appeared. However, with his current cultivation, he wasn't a match for Yan Wu. How could he not come out and mock the former ruler of the Flame World? One should know that in the past, he had often teased the high and mighty ruler of the Flame World. However, he, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven, had the cultivation and combat strength to look down on the world. Now, he didn't even have half of his previous cultivation. You still dare to appear in front of me? Seeing Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven, Yan Wu immediately thought of Sacred Lord Void Sky. She had been tricked by Sacred Lord Void Sky. Even the Flame World had been destroyed by Sacred Lord Void Sky. As the ruler of the Flame World, Yan Wu's hatred towards Sacred Lord Void Sky was absolutely irreconcilable. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was Sacred Lord Void Sky's senior brother. Since Sacred Lord Void Sky's junior brother had run away, this debt would naturally fall on Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven. At the thought of this, a shocking murderous aura erupted from Yan Wu's body. The entire sky changed color, and countless people in Hongmeng Divine City were terrified. They were terrified to the extreme, and the fear came from the depths of their souls. What are you trying to do? Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven stared at Yan Wu coldly. What do you think? Yan Wu could still control herself when she wasn't in front of Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven. However, now that she was in front of him, she couldn't control herself. Moreover, this fellow actually dared to mock her. Don't act recklessly. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven panicked a little, but he forced himself to remain calm. Bam! In the next moment, Holy Master Muddy Heaven's vision turned black as Yan Wu's punch landed on his face. Yan Wu's punch wasn't weak, and it sent Holy Master Muddy Heaven flying out of Hongmeng Divine City. Boom! A loud explosion resounded as a mountain range several hundred miles away from the Hongmeng Divine City was blasted apart. Needless to say, this mountain wouldn't have exploded for no reason. The reason this mountain had exploded was because of Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's collision. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was sent flying by Yan Wu's punch, and he smashed into a mountain ridge. A mountain ridge exploded after Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven crashed into it. Rocks flew everywhere, and dust rose into the sky. Countless living beings on the mountain ridge suffered a calamity. Of course, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven didn't care about the lives of those ants. Yan Wu, are you crazy? Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven rushed back from afar and roared at Yan Wu. He was covered in dust, and there was a black circle around his left eye where Yan Wu had punched him. He was in a sorry state. Gu Fei was taken aback. Since when did Yan Wu become so violent? Why would she fight over a disagreement? Although Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven had only recovered 30% to 40% of his cultivation base, he was still an infinite prime. It wouldn't be easy for Yan Wu to kill him. Moreover, Gu Fei wouldn't allow Yan Wu to kill Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven. One had to know that Holy Master Chaotic Heaven was his subordinate. An infinite prime subordinate who was also Sacred Lord Void Sky's senior brother. With such a subordinate, Sacred Lord Void Sky would have a high chance of defeating Sacred Lord Void Sky in the future. Even Sacred Lord Void Sky wouldn't have expected that he would let his senior brother out. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven had been harmed so badly by Sacred Lord Void Sky. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was probably more ruthless than anyone else. No matter what, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven couldn't avoid a beating. Yanwu didn't bother talking to Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven anymore. How could Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven be a match for Yanwu? He was completely suppressed by Yanwu, and he couldn't even retaliate. This was the difference between Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven and Yanwu. Sai, why do you have to do this? Gu Fei shook his head helplessly. He didn't make a move, as he knew that Yanwu wanted to vent. Moreover, it wasn't a big deal for Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven to be beaten up by Yanwu, right? Chapter 5493. A shocking scene played out in the sky above Hongmeng Divine City. On the plaza, the Fire Clan and Grand Mist Divine Race's ancestors' eyes nearly popped out of their sockets when they saw the scene in the sky. This was because the Supreme Infinite Prime in their eyes, the Sacred Lord of Chaotic Heaven, had actually been viciously abused by a woman in white. She had abused him to the point where he wanted to die. In the eyes of the Fire Clan and Grand Mist Divine Race's ancestors, Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven was an invincible existence. Who would have thought that such a supreme expert would be beaten up by a woman in white? Muffled bangs resounded from the sky. Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven was really unlucky today. He was beaten up by Yanwu, which made him feel so depressed that he almost vomited blood. Yanwu had beaten Holy Master Chaotic Heavens into a miserable state. Holy Master Chaotic Heavens was beaten up so badly that he didn't even look human. She continued to abuse Holy Master Chaotic Heaven for a full 2 hours before stopping. This guy's skin is really thick. Even my hand hurts when he hits me. Yanwu rubbed her hands and said. Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven almost fainted from anger. Master, I think we should leave. Holy Master Chaotic Heaven said to Gu Fei with a bloody nose and swollen face. He didn't want to stay on the Flame Star any longer because Yanwu was too fierce. Who knew if she would torture him again? His voice sounded like it was leaking air as Yanwu had knocked out a few of his teeth. When had Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven ever been beaten up like this? Even when he was plotted against by Holy Lord Su Tian and imprisoned in the valley, he had never been beaten up by Holy Lord Su Tian. Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven was really afraid that Yanwu would go crazy again. Then let's go, Gu Fei said and left without hesitation. In a flash, he appeared on the plaza's teleportation array. Where are they going? The Fire Clan and Grand Mist Divine Race's ancestors were dumbfounded. What would they do if their master left? One had to know that the enmity between the Fire Clan and Grand Mist Divine Race had only been resolved because of Gu Fei. Once Gu Fei left, the conflict between the two clans would erupt again. This was something that could be predicted. Due to Gu Fei's presence, the Flame Clan and Grand Mist Divine Race were apprehensive. If Gu Fei wasn't here to suppress the two clans, the old ancestors of the two clans would have fought with their lives on the line. Master, wait for me. Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven hurriedly gave chase. It was impossible for Gu Fei to return to the Void Realm without Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven's help. Only Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven could accurately locate the Void Realm. After all, the Void World was simply too far away from the Flame Star. Even if Gu Fei was at the peak of the Great Realm, he couldn't sense the location of the ethereal extent in the endless primal chaos. However, Holy Master Chaotic Heaven was different. He had left a drop of his heart's blood in the Void Realm, so no matter where he was or how far he was from the Void Realm, he could accurately sense the location of the Void Realm. Using one's heart's blood as a guide was no joke. This was the trump card that Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven had left behind. Even Sacred Lord Void Sky didn't know that Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven had such a trump card. Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven was also a ruthless person. Even though he had been plotted against by Sacred Lord Void Sky, imprisoned for countless years, and had his cultivation base absorbed by Sacred Lord Void Sky from time to time, he still hadn't revealed the secret. However, now that Gu Fei had planted a restrictive spell on him, his life and death were in Gu Fei's hands. Gu Fei wasn't Void Sky. Gu Fei would really kill him. Therefore, Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven had no choice but to build a teleportation formation for Gu Fei to help Gu Fei return to the Void Realm. "I'll go play with you guys," Yen Wu said as she appeared on the teleportation formation. Gu Fei smiled and didn't say anything. However, Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven looked as if he had nothing left to live for. It seemed like he would be tortured by this crazy woman in the coming days. "Master," when Yen Huatian and Hongxing saw that Gu Fei was really going to leave, they couldn't sit still anymore. "If your two clans start fighting again, I'll definitely destroy you when I return," Gu Fei said to Yen Huatian and Hongxing. "Yes, master!" Yen Huatian and Hongxing were so scared that they broke out in a cold sweat. Gu Fei had planted a restrictive spell on them, so their life and death were in Gu Fei's hands. Gu Fei definitely wasn't joking when he said that he would destroy them. At that moment, Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven couldn't wait to activate the teleportation formation. The formation inscriptions on the entire teleportation formation lit up. Soon, a ball of divine light emerged from the formation and instantly enveloped the three people on the formation. At that moment, a figure suddenly rushed onto the formation. "What?" Gu Fei was shocked. Swoosh! A ball of divine light shot up from the formation and instantly shattered the void, disappearing from everyone's sight. Everyone was stunned. "Who was that person who rushed onto the formation just now?" At that moment, the formation inscriptions on the formation dimmed, and the formation was empty. Gu Fei and the others had already been teleported out. "What do you think?" The first ancestor of the primordial divine clan, Hongxing, said in a trembling voice. "Hongxin, you raised a good granddaughter." The second ancestor of the primordial divine clan, Hongye, pointed at Hongxin and scolded him. At that moment, Hongxin was dumbfounded, and a drop of cold sweat trickled down his forehead. His granddaughter had really made him worry so much. The person who had rushed onto the formation was Hong Zuair, who had just broken through to the extreme Dao realm. "The primordial divine clan is really full of hidden talents," Yen Huatian said. "Humph!" Hongxing sneered and turned to leave. "I'll give the Yen clan one day to move out of this city." Hongxing's voice resounded in the square. "Are you going to fall out with me as soon as Master leaves?" Yen Huatian wasn't afraid of Hongxing at all. He knew that Hongxing wouldn't dare to do anything to the Yen clan, unless Hongxing wanted the two clans to be wiped off the Flame Star by Gu Fei. Based on Gu Fei's current cultivation and status, he would definitely do what he said. Moreover, it wasn't difficult for Gu Fei to annihilate the Yen clan and the primordial divine clan. If Gu Fei wanted to annihilate the two clans, all he needed to do was think about it, and the two clans' old ancestors would be dead. "This is my territory, and I call the shots here." Hongxing's voice resounded again. "I won't leave." "What can you do to me?" Yen Huatian rebuked Hongxing. "Then I have no choice but to force you out. If anyone dies, it's up to fate." Hongxing's attitude was firm. This was the primordial divine city, the territory of the primordial divine clan. It was reasonable for them to ask the Yen clan to leave. Even if a conflict broke out between them and the Yen clan, the master wouldn't say anything. "You win!" Yen Huatian was well aware of Hongxing's strength, and he didn't want to give Hongxing a chance to attack them. "Pack up, let's go," Yen Huatian said to the group of Yen clan's old ancestors. "Yes, old ancestor." The members of the Yen clan started to pack up and leave. Chapter 5494. Although the Void Realms seemed to be peaceful for thousands of years, in fact, the demons were constantly harassing the south. Although it was only a small skirmish, there were signs of a big conflict breaking out in recent years. This was because the limitless demon lord didn't want Gu Fei's forces to continue existing in the Void Realm. At this time, almost all the people loyal to Gu Fei were gathered in the south. Only a few people were scattered in other areas of the Void Realm. The West Sea Dragon clan moved to the south. This was because the relationship between the West Sea Dragon clan and Gu Fei was not ordinary. The little princess of the Dragon clan was Gu Fei's second disciple in the Void Realm. It was because of this relationship between the West Sea Dragon clan and Gu Fei that the West Sea Dragon clan had to move to the south. However, the Sky clan was still in the sky. Whether it was Sacred Lord Su Tian's incarnation or the Limitless Demon Lord, they didn't dare to have any ideas about the Sky clan. This was because Yu Xian'er and Ling Tian Palace Master would fuse and become the Limitless Sword Master. The Limitless Sword Master was a ruthless person. He was ruthless to his enemies, and even more ruthless to himself. He cultivated himself into two people. This was unprecedented in the Limitless realm. The secret technique that the Limitless Sword Master cultivated had a special characteristic, and that was that it was indestructible. However, she had paid such a huge price in exchange for immortality. Whether it was worth it or not, only she knew. In the Void Realm, no one was willing to provoke the Sky Clan and Ling Tian Palace. Although Yu Xian'er was also Gu Fei's disciple, her cultivation was only a half-step Limitless Realm expert. If she didn't fuse with Ling Tian Palace Master, she wouldn't be a match for a true Limitless Realm expert like the Limitless Demon Lord. The Limitless Fire Spirit was in a bad situation. He had fallen out with the Limitless Demon Lord. At this time, he was blocked by the Limitless Demon Lord in a valley. "You dare to betray me? Are you tired of living?" The Limitless Demon Lord stood in the sky and looked down at the Limitless Fire Spirit. Although the Limitless Fire Spirit was also a powerful Boundless Realm expert, it was only a low-level Boundless Realm expert. In front of a veteran Boundless Realm expert like the Limitless Demon Master, it was not enough. The Limitless Demon Lord's powerful demonic might surged out from his body. Everything in the valley shattered. Trees, boulders, everything turned into dust. Even the ground started to sink. "You!" The Limitless Fire Spirit was shocked and angry. He did not think that the Limitless Demon Lord would catch up to him so quickly. He had originally been pretending to surrender, and had never truly pledged his allegiance to the Limitless Demon Lord. At that time, Gu Fei was forced by the Limitless Demon Master and the others to step onto the Limitless Realm's teleportation array. The moment Gu Fei left, Gu Fei's forces lost their backbone. The Limitless Fire Spirit immediately pledged allegiance to the Limitless Demon Lord. This caused Xiaoya and Long Xiaorou to be dumbfounded. But now, the Limitless Fire Spirit finally rebelled. Because the Limitless Demon Lord finally couldn't help but be serious about the southern barbarians. Moreover, the Limitless Demon Lord wanted him to take the lead. In this way, he was dead for sure. Because Gu Fei had once planted a forbidden technique on the Limitless Fire Spirit. If Gu Fei died, the forbidden technique in his body would explode and directly destroy his body and soul. However, the problem was that the Limitless Fire Spirit was still alive and well. So, Gu Fei was still alive, and no one knew when he would return. If he killed Gu Fei's disciples, then when Gu Fei returned, wouldn't he be dead for sure? Either way, he would die. Hence, the Limitless Fire Spirit rebelled. "I'll give you another chance. Go to the southern barbarians now and bring me Xiaoya's severed head." The Limitless Demon Lord stared coldly at the Limitless Fire Spirit. His blood-colored pupils flashed with a terrifying blood-colored demonic light. "Tis, go and die!" The Limitless Fire Spirit directly raised his middle finger at the Limitless Demon Lord in the sky. "Very well, then I will send you on your way." As the Limitless Demon Lord spoke, he slammed his palm down towards the Limitless Fire Spirit below. Rumble! Endless demonic energy was vast and mighty. A demonic palm that was bigger than a mountain appeared between heaven and earth, directly crushing towards the Limitless Fire Spirit. "Escape!" The ground under the Limitless Fire Spirit's feet directly collapsed. In the next moment, he directly escaped into the ground. Boom! With a loud bang, the demonic palm directly smashed down. In the next moment, the entire valley directly collapsed. A circle of dust swept in all directions. This was a terrifying energy storm. Everywhere this energy storm passed, everything was directly torn into pieces. At the same time, a flame rushed out from the ground in the distance, soaring into the sky, and was about to escape. "Humph! Want to escape?" A demonic eye suddenly appeared between the limitless demon lord's eyebrows. Swish! A demonic light directly rushed out from the demonic eye between the limitless demon lord's eyebrows and directly hit the flame in the distant sky. Boom! With a loud bang, the flame fell from the sky to the ground, directly smashing a large pit in the ground. Dust flew everywhere. Monstrous demonic energy enveloped the entire heaven and earth. A terrifying demonic shadow indistinctly appeared in the demonic energy. Its blood-red demonic eye shone with terrifying blood-red light in the demonic energy. The terrifying demonic shadow in the sky looked down at a figure surrounded by flames in the large pit on the ground. "How dare you!" The limitless fire spirit was shocked and angry. He had endured for thousands of years. In these thousands of years, he madly swallowed the spiritual chi of the world, as well as the chi of other powerful living beings. However, even so, he still realized that the gap between him and the limitless demon lord was still very large. It was so large that he almost could not fight back in front of the limitless demon lord. His cultivation had reached the infinite prime realm. If he wanted to improve further, it would be practically impossible. Thousands of years ago, the limitless fire spirit was at the beginning level of the infinite prime. Thousands of years later, he was still at the beginning level of the infinite prime realm. His cultivation almost did not improve at all. Of course, the limitless demon lord's cultivation was also the same. It was also the same as thousands of years ago. However, to kill the limitless fire spirit was actually not an easy task. "Infinite divine fire clone!" The limitless fire spirit roared. In the next moment, his body actually exploded. Countless flames rushed out in all directions. "Still want to escape?" The limitless demon lord sneered. With a flip of his right hand, a demonic tower immediately appeared in his hand. "Absorb!" The limitless demon lord did not hesitate and directly activated the demonic tower in his hand. Buzz! The demonic tower shook and directly rushed from the limitless demon lord's hand into the sky. In an instant, it became incomparably huge and covered the entire sky. In the next moment, an unimaginably powerful infinite prime level devouring power exploded from within the demonic tower. The powerful devouring power that erupted from the Devil Pagoda instantly enveloped the entire world. Countless flames that rushed out in all directions were all enveloped by the devouring power of the Devil Pagoda, and then gathered towards the Devil Pagoda. The limitless fire spirit was actually sucked into the demonic tower that the limitless demon lord had summoned. And just as the limitless fire spirit was captured by the limitless demon lord, in the sky above the culmination snow mountain, the wind and clouds suddenly changed. The sun and moon lost their light. A ball of divine light broke through the void and rushed into the void world. "I'm finally back!" Chapter 5495. The limitless fire spirit was unlucky. It was actually sucked into the limitless demon tower. Of course, it was not easy for the limitless demon lord to kill the limitless fire spirit. Rumble! The limitless demon tower, which was bigger than a mountain, was shaking violently. Countless ancient demonic patterns appeared on the limitless demon tower. Each demonic pattern was releasing an extremely powerful demonic power. In the demon tower, a flame was rampaging inside, trying to break out of the demon tower. "Still want to escape? Dream on!" The limitless demon lord naturally would not let the limitless fire spirit go. He kept shooting demonic patterns at the demon tower. Those demonic patterns entered the demon tower. The powerful infinity-level power inside the demon tower was gradually suppressed. Just as the limitless demon lord captured the limitless fire spirit, the void above the sky above the culmination snow mountain suddenly shattered. A mass of divine light directly broke through the void and rushed out. A powerful wave of divine will immediately appeared between heaven and earth. "I'm finally back!" This wave of divine will directly envelop the entire culmination snow mountain. A figure that seemed to have been sitting cross-legged on the culmination snow mountain since ancient times suddenly opened his eyes and looked up at the sky. His unchanging expression finally changed. "How is this possible?" Shui Yao was extremely shocked. Originally, with her current cultivation base, there was nothing in the entire void realm that could move her. But now, she was so shocked that her body trembled, and she almost fell from the big rock she was sitting on. The moment the other unparalleled expert on the culmination snow mountain sensed the wave of divine will descending from the sky, he was also extremely shocked. Boom! With a loud sound, one of the snow-capped peaks on the culmination snow mountain directly exploded. Dust mixed with ice and snow soared into the sky, and a figure rushed out from the exploded snow-capped peak. The sudden loud sound shook heaven and earth. On the culmination snow mountain, there was a rumbling sound, and this sound was getting louder and louder. The entire culmination snow mountain was shaking. White torrents rushed down from all over the culmination snow mountain, shaking the heavens and the earth. This was a terrifying avalanche. The torrents of ice and snow gathered and destroyed everything in their path. The countless beings on the culmination snow mountain were terrified to the extreme. At this time, in the sky above the culmination snow mountain, it was as if another divine sun had appeared. That ball of divine light illuminated the world, and more than half of the powerful creatures in the culmination region could see that ball of divine light that had suddenly appeared in the sky. The powerful aura that erupted from the divine light quickly enveloped the entire Zhongtian region. Impossible! The limitless demon lord was holding the devil pagoda in his hand. He had just received the limitless fire spirit, and was feeling proud of himself. However, the moment he sensed this aura, he was so shocked that he almost fell from the sky. That's impossible. No one has ever come back. How could he? The limitless demon lord was truly frightened. Originally, he was still ambitious and wanted to completely conquer the South barbarians, and then kill all of Gu Fei's disciples. But now, there was nothing he could do. Haha, Master is back. You're out of luck. The limitless fire spirit's gloating laughter came from the demon tower. Humph! So what if he's back? We were able to force him to step onto the teleportation platform that day, so we can send him away today. The limitless demon lord sneered. At this time, almost all the super experts in the void world knew that an amazing person had returned. Is that so? Then what are you afraid of? The limitless fire spirit mocked. Humph! The limitless demon lord sneered. In the next moment, he directly disappeared into the void. At this time, at the peak of the Zhongtian snow mountain, the divine light that illuminated the world was rapidly weakening. Several figures walked out from the divine light. It's really you! A voice of disbelief sounded. The incarnation of Sacred Master Void Sky appeared high in the sky and stared at the figure opposite him. This place doesn't seem to have changed much. A white-haired old man walked out. He took a deep breath and had a look of enjoyment on his face. I haven't smelled this in a long time. The old man sighed. What's that smell? Is it the stench of sweat? Gu Fei was speechless. It's the smell of heaven and earth. Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven had a helpless look on his face. This is your territory? Yen Wu was also very curious about this world. They didn't put Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation in their eyes at all. Gu Fei originally thought that he would lose control of himself when he saw Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation and kill this person. However, when he returned to the Void World and killed Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation, he found that his heart was actually very calm. The same went for Yen Wu and Holy Master Chaotic Heaven. They were very calm. They even chose to ignore Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation. Behind Gu Fei and the others stood a little girl. She was Hong Zue'er. Just as Gu Fei and the others were about to teleport back to the Void World from the Flame Star, Hong Zue'er actually rushed onto the teleportation formation. This greatly surprised Gu Fei and the others. Just like that, Hong Zue'er also arrived in the Void World. You! Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation was both shocked and angry. These people actually dared to ignore him. He didn't expect that Gu Fei didn't return alone, but had brought 3 people with him. Moreover, what shocked Sacred Master Void Sky was that among the 3 people, the little girl's cultivation was at the extreme Dao level, while the old man and the masked woman in white were infinite primes. Gu Fei was also an infinite prime. 3 infinite primes appearing at the culmination snow mountain at the same time. What was going on? At this moment, a figure appeared in the sky. Snow Yao had also arrived. Gu Fei, is it really you? Snow Yao looked at the familiar figure in disbelief. Who else could it be? Gu Fei's voice turned cold. Back then, it was these people who had teamed up to force him into a dead end. The teleportation formation in the ancestral land of the heavenly race was a teleportation formation of death. If it weren't for the fact that Gu Fei cultivated the 9 secrets of immortal Tao, his body and soul would have been destroyed long ago. A shocking murderous aura immediately erupted from Gu Fei's body when he thought of this. What do you want? Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation immediately went on guard. What do you think? Gu Fei didn't want to waste words with these people. He took a step forward and punched at Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation. Didn't he come back to settle the score with these people? You! Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation immediately retreated. However, even though he retreated quickly, Gu Fei's fist was faster. Bam! Chapter 5496. Gu Fei wanted to take revenge. He punched Sacred Master Void Sky's clone in the face, and the sound of bones breaking could be heard. Sacred Master Void Sky's clone screamed as he was sent flying 100 miles away. My nose! Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation stretched out his hand and touched his face. To his surprise, there was blood all over his hand. His tall nose bridge had been smashed by Gu Fei's punch just now. His face looked like it had been dyed red. Haha, this feels good! Gu Fei laughed heartily. Right now, he was feeling extremely good. He could finally vent the anger in his chest. Back then, he was forced to step onto the teleportation array in the Heaven Race's ancestral land. He had been so sullen back then. Now, it was his turn to bully these detestable fellows. It hurts just looking at it, Sacred Master Chaotic Sky said gloatingly. Isn't Gu Fei a bit too much? As the saying goes, don't hit someone's face. Yan Wu laughed. Too much? I hope that master can be 10 times, 100 times worse. Sacred Master Chaotic Sky stared at Sacred Master Void Sky's clone and gritted his teeth. He had been plotted against by Sacred Master Void Sky and imprisoned in the valley. Sacred Master Void Sky had sucked away his essence energy bit by bit. Sacred Master Chaotic Sky wanted to tear Sacred Master Void Sky's clone into 1,000 pieces when he thought of this. Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone wasn't an ethereal body. It was an existence with flesh and blood. He would still feel pain when Gu Fei punched him in the face. You're right. Gu Fei, you're being too polite to this fellow. This won't do. That won't do. Yan Wu said loudly to Gu Fei. Then I'll try not to be polite. Gu Fei said nonchalantly. You bastard. Sacred Master Void Sky's clone was both shocked and angry. Snow Yao, what are you waiting for? Sacred Master Void Sky's clone suddenly roared in the direction of Snow Yao. The moment Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone was punched by Gu Fei, he knew that he was no match for Gu Fei. Therefore, Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone immediately wanted to drag the Snow Demon down with him. After all, the Snow Demon had forced Gu Fei to step onto the teleportation array back then. Haha, all of you come at me together. Gu Fei laughed. His battle intent was like a rainbow. Right now, he could use these 2 fellows to practice his skills. Humph! A cold laugh rang out, and the Snow Demon who had been hiding on the side appeared. Little Schwer, it's been so long. You've already become an infinite prime? Right at this moment, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven stood out. You are. The Snow Yao stared at Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven in shock. I am Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven said proudly. What? The Snow Demon and Sacred Master Void Sky's clones were extremely shocked upon hearing this. Senior brother, is it really you? How did this happen? Sacred Lord Void Sky's clones stared at Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven in shock. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was ambushed by Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven after they left the Void World. Therefore, Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone didn't know what had happened after they left the Void World. However, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven's eyes turned red as he stared at Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone. "Shut up. Who's your senior brother?" Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven roared at Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone. "Senior brother, you?" Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone jumped up in fright. She didn't expect her senior brother to have killing intent towards her. How was this possible? The two of them had grown up together, and their relationship was even closer than real brothers. However, Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone definitely didn't expect her main body to ambush her senior brother after leaving the Void World. Now, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was going to settle the score with Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone. Your head! Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven charged forward and punched at Sacred Master Void Sky's clone embodiment. He also wanted to give this fellow a punch and beat this fellow's face into a pulp. However, although Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven's thoughts were correct, the truth was that he didn't have Gu Fei's strength. Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone reached out with his right hand and grabbed Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven's fist. What? Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was shocked. This fellow was just a clone of Sacred Lord Void Sky. How could it be so strong? Senior brother, are you crazy? Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone swung his right hand and flung Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven away. Am I crazy? I'm going to kill you! Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven roared and attacked Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone again. Chaotic Heaven strike. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven roared and used his hand as a blade to slash at Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone. At this moment, Gu Fei retreated to the side. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven and Sacred Lord Void Sky had a huge grudge. Since they couldn't take revenge on Sacred Lord Void Sky's main body, they would settle the score with Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone first. It would be a good way to collect some interest. They had to find someone to vent their anger on. However, it was obvious that Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven couldn't even beat Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone. Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation punched out and broke through Sacred Lord Turbid Heaven's full-powered attack. The violent fist force sent Sacred Lord Turbid Heaven flying. Boom! With a loud explosion, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven smashed a snowy peak in the distance into pieces. Gu Fei was speechless when he saw this. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was really miserable. He couldn't even beat Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone. Even Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven couldn't accept this reality. He was buried in ice and snow. Hong Zui'er, on the other hand, was stunned by the scene before her. This was a battle between peerless powers. She couldn't even withstand a trace of their aura. If it wasn't for Gu Fei's protection, she would have been killed. Senior brother. Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone didn't know what was happening. Snow Demon didn't dare to act rashly. Roar! An angry roar shook the mountains. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven shot into the sky. In the next moment, the entire culmination snow mountain shook. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven shot into the sky and stood in the air. His body was glowing with divine light. This is... Gu Fei suddenly sensed that there was a force in the culmination snow mountain that was resonating with Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven. In the next moment, a ray of blood light shot out from the main peak of the culmination snow mountain. The crimson light shot up into the sky and collided with Holy Master Mixed Heaven's body. In an instant, it entered Holy Master Mixed Heaven's body and disappeared. This is the drop of blood he left here? Gu Fei stared at Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven. At this moment, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven suddenly roared into the sky. An unimaginably powerful wave of energy erupted from his body. A terrifying energy storm suddenly appeared high up in the sky. The energy wave from the sky caused the culmination snow mountain to experience a second avalanche. Chapter 5497. There was a reason why Gu Fei and the others had teleported from the Flame Star to the culmination snow mountain in the Void Realm. This wasn't a random teleportation. It didn't mean that Gu Fei and the others would appear anywhere in the Void Realm. The reason why they appeared in the sky above the culmination snow mountain was because Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven's drop of heart blood was on the culmination snow mountain. This was the backup plan that Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven had left behind. Furthermore, even Sacred Lord Void Sky didn't know what Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven had left behind. When Holy Lord Void Sky and Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven had left the Void Realm, Holy Lord Void Sky had thought that his senior brother hadn't left anything behind. At this moment, Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven withdrew the drop of heart blood that he had left behind countless years ago. His entire body shone with divine light, and an extremely terrifying power erupted from his body. Roar! Sensing the soaring power in his body, Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven couldn't help but throw his head back and roar. Terrifying sound waves spread out, and ripples visible to the naked eye appeared in the air with Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven at the center. These ripples were like waves that spread in all directions. Without any suspense, another avalanche broke out on the culmination snow mountain. Rumble! The entire culmination snow mountain was shaking. The avalanche's momentum could only be described as earth-shattering. Gu Fei looked at Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven. This fellow's aura was soaring, and his vital energy fluctuations were growing stronger. After withdrawing the drop of heart blood, Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven's cultivation base had recovered to at least 60% of his peak. The consequence of withdrawing the drop of heart blood was that this fellow had directly become younger. Endless divine light was withdrawn into Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven's body. The person who appeared in front of everyone was no longer the white-haired old man, but a middle-aged man with long, black hair. At this moment, Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven's entire body was exuding an incomparably domineering aura. His aura was so domineering that it made people's hearts palpitate. Of course, Gu Fei wasn't affected by this fellow's aura at all. However, it was a different story for the others. This was especially true for Hong Zuayer, who had the lowest cultivation base among them. At this moment, she was hiding behind Gu Fei, trembling in fear. The difference between her cultivation base and Holy Lord Chaotic Heaven's was simply too great. Even the Snow Demon and Yan Wu stared at Holy Master Chaotic Heaven nervously. Heh! Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven let out a long breath and stared at Sacred Master Void Sky's clone. Senior brother! When Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone sensed the stronger killing intent coming from Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven's body, even he felt his heart tremble. Kill! Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven roared without any hesitation. In the next moment, his figure disappeared from the void. When he reappeared, a fist had already arrived in front of Sacred Master Void Sky's clone embodiment. Be it strength or speed, they were no longer comparable to before. Swoosh! Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone tilted his body and dodged Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven's punch. Senior brother, are you crazy? Sacred Master Void Sky's clone was also angered by Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven. Am I crazy? I'm going to kill you. Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven roared angrily and attacked. Countless fist shadows appeared in the void and smashed towards Sacred Master Void Sky's clone. Why? Sacred Master Void Sky's clone was extremely depressed. He also punched out. Their fists accurately collided, and a concentrated sound of impact could be heard. Why? Why do you ask? Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven turned his fist into a blade, and used his hand as a blade to execute his famous killer move, Chaotic Sky 13 Slashes. This saber move was created by the Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven after countless years of practice. It was the strongest killing move of the Tao of the Blade, and only the Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was able to use the Tao of the Blade to the extreme. Buzz. When Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's saber aura appeared, the sound of a saber resonated in the void. A powerful saber aura erupted from his body, and the surrounding void seemed like it was about to be torn apart. When the saber was unleashed, heaven and earth were shocked. Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven, who had recovered 60% of his cultivation, actually caused heaven and earth to lose color when he slashed out. Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's clone could no longer remain calm when he saw Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's slash. This was because he was certain that his senior brother really wanted to kill him. This was because his senior brother had used his most powerful killer move. 10,000 techniques returned to origin. Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's clone roared angrily. He waved his hands in front of him, and a powerful devouring power immediately surged out of his hands. A black hole appeared in the void in front of him and devoured everything around it. This was Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's killer move. The devouring power of this black hole could really devour everything. No matter how powerful the opponent was, they would still be devoured by the black hole. The sharp saber aura that slashed towards Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's clone was all devoured by the black hole in front of him. Even Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's hand was almost devoured by the black hole created by Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's clone. Second slash. Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven immediately changed his move. In the next instant, an even stronger saber aura erupted from his hand. This slash was simple and direct. It was just a slash towards the clone's head. However, such a simple slash directly split open the terrifying black hole that could devour everything in front of Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's clone. Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's clone was shocked and immediately retreated. Swoosh! Although Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's clone dodged very quickly, the clothes on his left shoulder were still sliced open by Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's saber aura. Just a little bit more! Gu Fei couldn't help but shake his head when he saw this. If Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's strength was just a little bit stronger, this slash would have directly chopped off the entire left arm of Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's clone. However, Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven could only slice open the clone's clothes. He wasn't even able to cut through the clone's skin. "Aren't you going to help him?" Yanwu glanced at Gu Fei and asked. "Why should I help? That's a personal grudge between them." Gu Fei had no intention of helping. Personal grudge? Yanwu was speechless. She actually didn't know that Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven had plotted against his senior brother. In fact, no one would have thought that Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven, who had grown up with him, would suddenly attack him. This was also why Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven hated Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven so much. At this moment, Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven directly unleashed his third slash. The instant he slashed out with his hand, the entire void was filled with saber shadows that covered the sky. Countless saber shadows instantly drowned Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's clone. Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's slash directly sealed off all paths of retreat for Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's clone. Even Gu Fei was a little surprised when he saw Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's slash. Chapter 5498. Without a doubt, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven had become much stronger after recovering 60% of his cultivation. He could actually fight against Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone. Previously, he had been tortured badly by Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone, but after Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven successfully took back that drop of hard blood, his battle power had increased by a lot. When Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven continued to attack, he used his hand to chop for the third time. The instant he slashed out with his saber, countless saber lights appeared in the void without any warning. The overwhelming saber lights immediately drowned Sacred Leader Void Sky's clone. "I'll absorb!" Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone roared angrily. In the next instant, a black hole appeared on his body and swallowed the blade lights crazily. "What?" Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was shocked when he saw this. He didn't think that Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone would be this powerful. Probably even Sacred Lord Void Sky never imagined that the clone he left behind in the past would actually grow to the point where it could contend against infinite primes. Usually, a clone was just a clone. It couldn't be stronger than the real body. Although Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone might not be stronger than his real body, it was still one of the top infinite primes. Even the Limitless Sword Master, the Limitless Demonic Lord, and the Snow Yao weren't a match for this clone of Sacred Master Void Sky. Fourth slash! Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven had to change his move when he saw that his third slash was about to be completely swallowed. He directly used the fourth slash. When the fourth slash was used, the temperature of the entire area dropped rapidly. The entire area seemed like it was about to become an ice cave. A terrifying killing intent appeared in the sky. The fourth slash of Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven 13 slashes was unimaginably strong. Senior brother, do you really want to fight with your life on the line? Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone was shocked when he saw Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven use this move. He was Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone, so he naturally knew Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven very well. The Chaotic Heaven 13 slashes was Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven's trump card. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven wouldn't use this move easily unless he was fighting with his life on the line. What the F***CK? Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven roared and attacked. Swoosh! His blade was like a streak of light that flashed through the air. It was extremely fast and instantly slashed toward the black hole that Sacred Lord Void Sky had turned into. It went straight into the black hole. This slash is not bad. Gu Fei couldn't help but nod when he saw Holy Master Chaotic Heaven's attack. The power of this attack couldn't be underestimated. If Holy Master Chaotic Heaven had used this attack when he was at his peak, even Gu Fei wouldn't have been able to block it. That's all. Yan Wu, however, said disapprovingly. With a miserable shriek, the black hole immediately disappeared. A figure immediately retreated, and a bloody light appeared. A bloody smell immediately filled the air. Sacred Master Void Sky's clone was injured. Senior brother, don't force me. Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation roared. He glanced at the saber wound on his shoulder before glaring at Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven. I force you? Haha. Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven laughed heartily. When he thought about the torture he had suffered in the valley, his eyes teared up. All of this was thanks to Sacred Master Void Sky. You! Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation was both shocked and angry. He had lost contact with his main body for a long time. He didn't know what had happened after his main body and Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven left the Void Realm. Again. Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven attacked again. This time, his aura was different. The fourth slash was earth-shattering, but the fifth slash was domineering. Every slash of the Supreme Blade Dao that Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven created had different power. Each slash had its own unique characteristics, and each slash brought the power of the Blade Dao to the extreme. When the fifth slash was unleashed, the entire world trembled. This was a domineering slash. Under this slash, it seemed as if anything could be destroyed by this slash. It was as if nothing could block this slash. Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation's expression changed drastically when he saw his senior brother unleash such a domineering slash. This slash couldn't be blocked at all. Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation retreated immediately. However, the blade aura of Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's slash was too strong and domineering. The blade light moved like a shadow and slashed at Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation in an instant. The sharp blade aura penetrated the incarnation's body. Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation spat out a mouthful of blood before he was truly slashed. One thought to transform the heavens. Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation unleashed a mystic ability with all his might. Endless divine light erupted from his body as if he wanted to become one with heaven and earth. It was as if a supreme existence was transforming into the Tao. The power of Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's terrifying and domineering slash was actually transferred by Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation to the surrounding heaven and earth. His heaven transformation mystic ability was to transfer the opponent's power to the Void Realm so that the entire Void Realm could block Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's shocking slash for him. The surrounding space immediately began to tremble violently, and sinister and terrifying black cracks appeared in the space. This fella. Gu Fei was displeased when he saw this. This fella actually wanted the Void Realm to die together with Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's slash in order to block Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's slash. However, Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation was unable to transfer the power of Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's slash to the surrounding heaven and earth. The power of Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's slash was completely unleashed. The void around Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation instantly shattered. He let out a miserable shriek as he was sent flying. The clothes on his upper body were instantly shredded into pieces. Countless bloody wounds appeared on his body. Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation was extremely shocked. He had almost been dismembered by Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's slash. Furthermore, Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's saber aura had invaded his body and was continuously destroying his vitality. Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation had aged countless years in an instant. His hair had turned snow white, and the aura on his body had become very weak. Today, I will collect some interest. When I kill my way into the limitless realm in the future, I will settle the score with that bastard Void Sky. Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven roared as he attacked Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation. He unleashed his sixth slash. The power of the Chaotic Heaven 13 slash increased with each slash. Given Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's current cultivation, it was already very difficult for him to unleash his sixth slash. However, when Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's sixth slash was unleashed, heaven and earth seemed like it was going to be split in half. The terrifying power of the saber Tao shook heaven and earth. Chapter 5499. In the sky above the sky-piercing snow mountain, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was fighting against Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone. At the start, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven wasn't a match for Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone at all, but the situation changed when Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven took back the drop of heart blood that he had left on the sky-piercing snow mountain. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven's drop of heart blood had existed for countless years and had gathered an endless amount of heaven-earth spiritual chi. When Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven took back the drop of heart blood, his cultivation recovered to around 60%. The fact that Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was able to fight against Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone and suppress it made Gu Fei feel slightly surprised. This guy was able to beat Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone after recovering to 60% of his cultivation. One had to know that although Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone was just a clone, its cultivation had reached the infinite prime realm a long time ago, and it was one of the top infinite primes. Now, it was Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven's turn to beat Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone. At this moment, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven used all of his strength to unleash a sixth slash. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven's saber Tao power shook heaven and earth when he slashed out. The bright saber light instantly surpassed the limits of space and time, and blood appeared. The head of Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone flew into the air. Seeing this scene, both Gu Fei and Yan Wu were stunned. The power of Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven's slash was truly heaven-defying. It was able to kill Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone with just one slash. The speed of this slash had reached an unimaginable level. Even Gu Fei's expression couldn't help changing. This guy's attack could be summed up in one word. Fast. That's right, it was fast. It was extremely fast. Gu Fei knew that if he was in Sacred Lord Void Sky's position, he probably wouldn't be able to dodge it, and would be hit. Of course, Gu Fei's martial body was extremely strong, and he was someone who had comprehended the Tao through his martial arts. Even if he was hit by Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven's slash, nothing would happen to him. It would not be like Sacred Master Su Tian's clone, which had its head sent flying. Moreover, although Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven's blade had cut off the head of Sacred Master Void Sky's clone, he hadn't been able to kill it. The head of Sacred Master Void Sky's clone flew in a circle in the air before landing on his body and returning. Seeing this scene, Hong Zuyer's eyeballs almost fell to the ground. If one slash doesn't work, then I'll slash. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven continued to attack. Countless saber lights flashed in the void. Every saber move that Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven made was as fast as the first one. Therefore, Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone had no chance to dodge at all. Every slash from Sacred Lord Chaotic Sky landed accurately on his body and shattered Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone. Let's see how you recover this time. After Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven put away his saber, He was panting and sweating profusely. It was as if he had fought for 3 days and 3 nights. Using such a powerful saber move consumed a large amount of essence chi. He slashed out hundreds of times in one breath, and his body was nearly hollowed out. Seeing this scene, Gu Fei was speechless. This Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was too amazing. However, how could Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone, who had reached the Infinite Prime Realm, be killed by Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven so easily? A ball of divine light appeared, and Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone appeared in front of everyone again. However, his aura was much weaker this time. In other words, even though Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone could reform his body, he had become weaker. Again! Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was about to attack again. Again? Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone jumped in fright. Wait! Gu Fei stopped Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven. Master, this... Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven looked at Gu Fei in confusion. You're done playing, right? It's time for me to have some fun. Gu Fei smiled. Master wants to play? Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven was shocked. How could Void Sky's clone win against Master? It was destined to be destroyed by Master. However, since Master had already said so, he couldn't go against Master. Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven immediately retreated. Alright, it's our turn. Let's play! Gu Fei smiled as he walked forward. You! Hong Zue'er was shocked when she saw Gu Fei walk forward. If Gu Fei attacked, who would protect her? Don't worry! Gu Fei said as he waved his right hand. A huge seal immediately rushed out of his hand and floated above Hong Zue'er's head. An infinite prime chaotic energy came from the seal and enveloped her. I'm not playing with you! Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone turned around and fled. However, as soon as he turned around, Gu Fei's figure appeared in front of him. Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone turned around again, but Gu Fei appeared in front of him again. No matter which direction he wanted to escape in, Gu Fei would appear in front of him first and block his path. What exactly do you want? Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone stared at Gu Fei and said with gritted teeth. After thousands of years, Gu Fei's cultivation had increased greatly. Now that he had returned to the Void World, he would definitely take revenge. The current Gu Fei was not someone he could deal with. I don't want to do anything. I just want to fight with you. Gu Fei smiled. You want to fight with me? Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone was stunned. Was this guy an idiot? Yes, I just want to fight with you. Either you get killed by me, or I get beaten to death by you. Gu Fei's smile became even wider. Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone didn't want to risk his life against Gu Fei. His figure became blurry, and in the next instant, his clone turned into countless figures that charged in all directions. You still want to escape in front of me? Gu Fei stopped smiling. In the next instant, his body shook, and endless divine light rushed out of his body, piercing in all directions. Every divine light that rushed out of Gu Fei's body accurately pierced through all the clones of Sacred Lord Void Sky. Sacred Lord Void Sky's clones were pierced by the divine light, and they directly disappeared into the void, disappearing without a trace. The spectators were extremely nervous when they saw this. It was obvious that Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone didn't dare to fight with Gu Fei at all. After all, he couldn't even dodge a single punch from Gu Fei earlier. Previously, he couldn't even dodge a single punch from Gu Fei. Now that he had fought with Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven, he had used up a lot of his essence chi. He was even less of a match for Gu Fei now. At this moment, all the clones of Sacred Lord Void Sky disappeared. His real body appeared dozens of miles away and was about to escape. Chapter 5500. In the sky above the culmination snow mountain, Gu Fei was about to make a move. However, Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation had already been punched in the face by Gu Fei, and his nose was already crooked from Gu Fei's punch. How would he dare to fight with Gu Fei? Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation was about to escape. However, this didn't mean that he could escape just because he wanted to. This depended on whether Gu Fei agreed or not. At this moment, Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation had already escaped far away. Gu Fei stretched out his right hand and directly grabbed at Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation. Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation only felt his body tighten. He was horrified to find that he couldn't control himself, and was flying backward. No matter how he struggled, it was useless. How is this possible? Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation was really scared out of his wits by Gu Fei this time. He originally thought that he had underestimated Gu Fei's combat strength. Who would have thought that Gu Fei's combat strength was much stronger than he had imagined? Roar! Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation suddenly turned around and directly charged at Gu Fei. Since he couldn't escape, he might as well fight. However, before Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation could make a move, he was punched in the face by Gu Fei. Gu Fei's punch directly caused his face to split open. Another slap in the face. Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation was about to go crazy. Previously, this fellow slapped his face. Now, he was slapping his face again. His nose was still crooked. Then, he was punched in the face by Gu Fei again. Blood instantly spurted out of his nose, and his face became even crooked. Can you not hit my face, Bam? Before Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation could finish speaking, he was punched in the face by Gu Fei again. No! Gu Fei said very seriously and then punched again. Then, muffled sounds of collisions and screams sounded continuously. Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation was actually beaten up by Gu Fei. He was beaten up so badly that even his mother wouldn't be able to recognize him. Don't, Bam! Stop hitting me! Bam! Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation wanted to die. He had never been beaten so badly before. He didn't even have the strength to fight back. He was the strongest infinite prime in the void world, yet he could not fight back at all before Gu Fei. Was Gu Fei already invincible? Do I have to stop hitting you just because you said so? Gu Fei didn't care about Sacred Master Void Sky's clone. He continued to throw punches at it. Does it feel good? When I walked into a dead end, did you ever think that this day would come? Gu Fei said while gritting his teeth. The thrill of revenge was simply too satisfying. Who asked you to force me? When Gu Fei thought about how he was forced by these fellows to step onto the transmission array platform in the Tian clan's ancestral land, he felt like he was going crazy. He wished that he could kill this fellow in front of him. With his current cultivation, it wasn't impossible for him to kill Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation. Although infinite primes were strong, they weren't unkillable. It was still possible to kill these infinite primes using special methods. Gu Fei punched and stomped on Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation. Hong Zuair, Patriarch Chaotic Heaven, Yan Wu, Shui Yao, and the others were all stunned. None of them expected Gu Fei to be so wild. You're not strong anymore? Gu Fei beat up Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation until it started begging for mercy. Yan Wu, Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven, and the others were all stunned. Boom! Gu Fei sent Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation flying with a kick. Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation directly fell towards the snowy mountain below. It crashed into the snow valley at the foot of the mountain and disappeared. Master, did you have fun? Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven went forward and smiled. Not bad. Yan Wu, that guy isn't dead yet. If you want to play, you can play as much as you want, Gu Fei said to Yan Wu. Yan Wu and Sacred Lord Void Sky had a huge grudge. The Flame World used to be a superworld, second only to the Infinite World. If it wasn't for Sacred Lord Void Sky, the Flame World wouldn't have been destroyed. As the heaven intent of the Flame World, Yan Wu wanted to tear Sacred Lord Void Sky into 10,000 pieces. Since she had met Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation, she obviously wouldn't let it go so easily. You played with that guy until he's crippled, and now you're asking me to help? Yan Wu was speechless. Although he's crippled, he's not dead, Gu Fei said disapprovingly. If I attack again, he'll be dead, Yan Wu said in annoyance. Then you can heal his body first, and then torture him, Gu Fei said. That works? Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven and Hong Zuier froze when they heard this. Heal him and torture him again. Gu Fei's idea was extremely cruel to Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation. Only by torturing Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation would Gu Fei be able to vent his anger. One had to know that Gu Fei was screwed over by Sacred Lord Void Sky and almost died. Good idea! Yen Wu's eyes lit up when she heard this. Swoosh! Right at this moment, a figure suddenly charged down from the sky towards the middle sky snow mountain. This person was Snow Yao. She saw how badly Gu Fei tortured Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation, so she immediately ran away. Shui Yao knew that she wasn't a match for Gu Fei and the others. Therefore, when she saw that the situation wasn't good, she immediately fled. She didn't want to end up like the clone of Sacred Master Su Tian, who had been abused by these guys. You want to leave? In the next moment, countless Tao patterns immediately condensed in the void and turned into a giant net that soared from the bottom of the snowy mountain towards the snow demon net. What? The snow demon's shock was no small matter. Gu Fei was actually powerful to such an extent. Swoosh! Snow Yao waved her right hand, and a bright blade of light rushed out from her hand. She wanted to break this giant net. She didn't want to be trapped like a fish. However, the blade of light flashed and slashed at the net, but it was directly bounced off. Open! The snow demon attacked again. A ball of divine light rushed out from the top of her head. An extremely terrifying chill immediately spread out from the ball of divine light. The net of light that Gu Fei had condensed was immediately frozen, and then directly shattered. I Soul Divine Pearl? Gu Fei stared at the ball of divine light floating above Snow Yao's head. His eyes couldn't help but narrow. This was an infinite-level Connate Taoist treasure. It wasn't a secret that Snow Yao had the I Soul Divine Pearl. Moreover, Gu Fei was very clear about the power of the I Soul Divine Pearl. As soon as the I Soul Divine Pearl appeared, it directly broke his light net. Even Yen Wu and Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven were shocked when they saw this ball of divine light. Then, the two infinite primes stared greedily at the ball of divine light. An infinite-level Connate Taoist treasure was a peerless Taoist treasure that could only be found by chance. Chapter 5501. The Snow Demon was the strongest existence on the culmination Snow Mountain apart from Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone. Before Sacred Lord Void Sky's incarnation had awakened, she was the supreme ruler of the entire culmination Snow Mountain, or even the entire culmination. Although the Snow Demon's cultivation was not as high as Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone, Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone did not dare to underestimate the Snow Demon because the Snow Demon had an infinite-grade Tao treasure to protect her. This infinite-grade Tao treasure was the I Soul Divine Pearl. The I Soul Divine Pearl was not a refined Tao treasure. Instead, it was a Tao treasure that was born naturally and was of the highest grade. Tao treasures born naturally were called Connate Tao treasures. The I Soul Divine Pearl in the Snow Demon's hand was a Connate infinite-grade Tao treasure. Because the Snow Demon had the I Soul Divine Pearl, even Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone did not dare to underestimate the Snow Demon. Otherwise, he would have chased the Snow Demon out of the culmination Snow Mountain. After all, there could not be two tigers in one mountain. Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone did not want to provoke the Snow Demon either because the I Soul Divine Pearl in the Snow Demon's body was so powerful that even Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone was afraid of it. Now that Gu Fei had made a move, the Snow Demon had no choice but to use the I Soul Divine Pearl. After the Snow Demon took out the I Soul Divine Pearl, it instantly broke through Gu Fei's huge net. A terrifying chill swept towards Gu Fei. The entire world seemed to be frozen, and the void seemed to be solidified. This is getting interesting. Gu Fei smiled as he pointed out with his finger. The force of his finger directly broke through the cold air that swept over. The overwhelming cold air was directly split into two by the force of Gu Fei's finger, and it swept past his body with great momentum. Hong Zuier, Yen Wu, and Sacred Lord Chaotic Heaven were all affected by the chill. Buzz! The primal chaos seal floating above Hong Zue's head immediately vibrated and released a powerful chaotic power that enveloped Hong Zue and blocked the mighty chill. Even so, Hong Zue still felt a bone-chilling cold assaulting her body. She felt as if the blood in her body was about to freeze. It was an unbearable feeling. Even Holy Master Chaotic Heaven and Yen Wu had no choice but to circulate their profound arts to resist the cold. The snow demon took advantage of this opportunity to fuse with the Eye-Soul Divine Pearl. It turned into a ray of divine light and instantly rushed into the snow mountain, disappearing. Escaped? Gu Fei couldn't help but be startled when he saw this. He had thought that the snow demon had taken out the Eye-Soul Divine Pearl to fight him. Who would have thought that the snow demon would still choose to flee? At this moment, Yen Wu locked onto Sacred Lord Void Sky's clone. Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation was smashed into the snow valley by Gu Fei. The first thing he did was to escape into the snow mountain. At this time, Gu Fei's side was strong and strong. He and the snow demon were not their opponents at all. If they wanted to fight against Gu Fei, they could only ask the Limitless Demon Master and the Limitless Sword Master to take action. If they gathered 4 infinite primes, they might be able to put up a fight against Gu Fei and the others. But now, they were not Gu Fei's opponents at all. Sacred Master Void Sky's incarnation knew that he was not Gu Fei's opponent. Naturally, he wouldn't be stupid enough to risk his life to fight Gu Fei. However, Yen Wu had already locked onto him. Even if he escaped from the culmination snow mountain, he would still be locked onto by Yen Wu. He couldn't escape at all. Whoosh! Yen Wu's figure disappeared into the void. At this time, only Gu Fei, Hong Zue, and Sacred Master Chaotic Heaven were left in the sky above the culmination snow mountain. At this time, Xiaoya and the others were in a dangerous situation. The force supported by the Limitless Demon Master suddenly attacked them. With the support of the Limitless Demon Master, East King re-established his force in the east of South Country. The Ghost Emperor surrendered to the Limitless Demon Master. The Eastern Wilderness Demon race was originally bullied by Gu Fei, so they also took action. In an instant, Xiaoya and the others were attacked by these guys. Especially the Eastern Wilderness Demon race, they didn't really surrender to Gu Fei. After Gu Fei left the Void Sky, the Eastern Wilderness Demon race rebelled immediately. In recent years, the Eastern Wilderness Demon race received the support of the Limitless Demon Master and directly attacked South Country. At this time, the Eastern Wilderness Demon Race Army, the Ghost Race Army, and the East King Army joined forces and attacked South Country Imperial City. Everywhere they passed, they destroyed everything. The 3 armies successfully formed an encirclement around the southern barbaric Imperial City, and had the bearing of razing the southern barbaric Imperial City to the ground. However, Xiaoya and the others were not to be trifled with. Near South Country Imperial City, flags fluttered. Xiaoya and the others gathered an army of hundreds of thousands and blocked the 3 armies of the Ghost Emperor, East King, and the Eastern Wilderness Demon race. Both sides confronted each other. In Xiaoya and Long Xiaozhou's camp, there were many experts. The Sorcerer race and them were also grasshoppers on the same rope. The Sorcerer race fully supported Xiaoya and Long Xiaozhou. The West Sea Dragon race also moved to South Country. The West Sea Old Dragon Emperor was a veteran emperor. With him around, unless an existence of the Infinite Prime Realm took action, otherwise, who could do anything to the West Sea Old Dragon in the Void Realm? Lin Xiaotian, I didn't expect that you would dare to show your face after hiding for thousands of years. It seems that you are tired of living. Huangfu Zun led an army to block East King's army. He and East King's grandfather, Lin Xiaotian, stood in front of the army. Thousands of years had passed, and East King's cultivation had broken through to the Emperor realm. Huangfu Zun, it seems that you haven't figured out the situation. Now we have 2 Emperor realm experts on our side, and you are alone. Do you think you can beat us? East King stood up, stared at Huangfu Zun opposite him, and sneered. Little guy, how dare you be so presumptuous in front of me? When I made my debut, your grandfather was still playing with mud. Huangfu Zun sneered. Old man, you are really tired of living, East King said angrily. When he was chased by Huangfuzun, he was like a stray dog, living in fear all day long. Now that he had finally made it, he wanted to settle the score with Huangfuzun. I am tired of living. What can you do to me? Huangfuzun said disdainfully. Kill! Lin Xiaotian attacked. Do you think I am afraid of you? Huangfuzun's figure flashed, and he directly went up to meet him. The two Emperor Realm experts fought fiercely. On the other side, the East Sea Old Dragon blocked the Ghost Emperor of the North Ruins. The Eastern Wasteland Demon Race's army was blocked by the four great generals under Gu Fei. The four great generals were the ultimate force that Gu Fei left behind to protect Little Ye and the others. Of course, these four great generals were no match for the Limitless Demon Lord and the others. However, the Limitless Demon Lord had been worried about Sacred Master Su Tian's incarnation for the past thousands of years, so he didn't dare to attack the southern barbarians. But now it was different. If he didn't get rid of Little Ye and the others now, he wouldn't have another chance. The Limitless Demon Lord was determined to kill Gu Fei's disciples and grand disciples. So what if Gu Fei came back? I will kill his disciples and grand disciples first, then I will kill him. Chapter 5502. After the Limitless Demon Lord sensed Gu Fei's aura appearing in the Void Realm, he started this game. If it weren't for the incarnation of Sacred Lord Su Tian, this game would have started long ago. When Gu Fei stepped on the teleportation formation platform in the ancestral land of the Tian tribe, the Limitless Demon Lord promised in front of all the Infinite Realm experts that he would not attack Gu Fei's disciples and grand disciples. It was because of this promise that Xiaoye and Long Xiaozhou could protect Nanman. For thousands of years, although they could only hide in Nanman, they were not in any danger. But now it was different. The Limitless Demon Lord was determined to kill Xiaoye and the others. If it weren't for the Limitless Demon Lord's order, who would dare to attack Xiaoye and the others? At this time, the three armies had formed an encirclement around the Nanman Imperial City. The Eastern Army was led by Dong Wang and his grandson. At this time, Dong Wang and Lin Xiaotian were fighting Huangfuzun. This was a battle between Emperor Realm experts. Buzz! The void shook. Huangfuzun separated his hands in front of him. Countless formation patterns rushed out from his hands and were directly imprinted in the void. Roar! These formation patterns immediately turned into a divine tiger, directly pouncing on Dong Wang. Transforming the power of the formation into a tiger, this was a kind of formation magical power that Huangfuzun had created after receiving guidance from Gu Fei for thousands of years. What? Dong Wang was shocked and hurriedly dodged. At this time, Huangfuzun and Lin Xiaotian were fighting. Two figures moved quickly in the void, and the dull sound of collisions sounded constantly. Violent power fluctuations spread in all directions, and the sky and earth changed color. On the ground, the army led by Dong Wang and the army led by Huangfuzun rushed towards each other under the leadership of their respective generals. Suddenly, battle cries shook the sky. The two sides rushed together in an instant. Suddenly swords flashed, and flesh and blood flew. In the void, a nauseating smell of blood permeated. War had always been cruel. A war between hundreds of thousands of people, or even millions of people, was even more tragic. A large number of soldiers on both sides would die. The Limitless Demon Lord did not care about the life and death of these soldiers. Because in the eyes of the Limitless Demon Lord, all the weak beings were like ants. While Huangfuzun was holding off the East King and the others, the North Ruins Ghost Emperor's northern army was also stopped. The person who had stopped the North Ruins Ghost Emperor was the West Sea Old Dragon Monarch. A mere ghost dares to call himself an emperor? What a joke! High up in the sky, the West Sea Old Dragon Monarch sneered at the North Ruins Ghost Emperor. Originally, the Ghost Emperor of the North Ruins only dared to call himself a monarch. But in the last few hundred years, no one knew what had gotten into him, but he actually called himself an emperor, the Ghost Emperor of the North Ruins. Ha ha! You old loach, this is not a place for you to flaunt your seniority. The North Ruins Ghost Emperor laughed loudly. Is that so? My old bones haven't moved in a long time, so I'll play with you today. As the West Sea Dragon Emperor spoke, he stretched his muscles and bones. If you want to fight, let's fight. The North Ruins Ghost Emperor took a step forward and threw a punch at the West Sea Old Dragon Monarch. A violent fist energy exploded from the North Ruins Ghost Emperor's fist. It was a fist energy condensed from the terrifying power of death. When he punched, the surrounding flowers and trees immediately withered. The North Ruins Ghost Emperor cultivated the power of death. The West Sea Old Dragon Monarch sneered and stretched out his right hand. It turned into a dragon claw and grabbed at the North Ruins Ghost Emperor's fist. Bang! There was a dull sound, and the two figures instantly separated. Again. The West Sea Old Dragon Monarch roared. He turned around and swung his tail at the North Ruins Ghost Emperor like a divine dragon, whipping his tail at the Ghost Emperor. Hee, it's been a long time since I've eaten a dragon. The North Ruins Ghost Emperor laughed sinisterly as his body blurred. In the next moment, a gigantic skull appeared in the air and bit at the dragon tail that was lashing at him. This guy. The West Sea Old Dragon Monarch was shocked, but he didn't withdraw his tail. Crack! The enormous skull bit the dragon tail fiercely. In the next moment, a few of the skull's teeth broke. The dragon tail's strength was beyond imagination. Haha, this feels good. The West Sea Old Dragon Monarch laughed loudly. This guy wanted to bite him. What a joke. The skull that was the Ghost Emperor of the North Ruins who had gnashed his teeth so hard that they were broken had disappeared, and the Ghost Emperor of the North Ruins appeared in the void. How is this possible? Could it be that your cultivation? The North Ruins Ghost Emperor said in shock. Isn't it a little late for you to find out now? The West Sea Old Dragon Monarch sneered. You! The North Ruins Ghost Emperor was even more shocked. He actually turned around and ran. However, he couldn't escape at this time. The West Sea Old Dragon Monarch stretched out his right hand and turned into a dragon claw again. This time, he grabbed the North Ruins Ghost Emperor and exerted force. Bang! There was a dull sound, and the North Ruins Ghost Emperor was crushed by the West Sea Old Dragon Monarch's dragon claw. He turned into a bloody mist, his body and soul destroyed. The North Ruins Ghost Emperor's death was too unjust. He didn't know that the West Sea Old Dragon Monarch's cultivation had broken through. If he did, he would have admitted defeat and run as far as he could. When the North Ruins Ghost Emperor died, the North Ruins army he led was like a dragon without a leader. The North Ruins army collapsed immediately. The West Sea Dragon army under the West Sea Old Dragon Monarch's command took the opportunity to charge forward and kill countless North Ruins army soldiers. The North Ruins army was directly defeated by the West Sea Old Dragon Monarch. The army was completely annihilated, and the three armies' encirclement around the southern barbarian royal capital was broken. This was beyond everyone's expectations. The other army in the east was blocked by Gu Fei's four generals. This was a fierce battle because the eastern wasteland's demonic beasts were also full of experts. The four generals and the demon race's Emperor Realm experts fought until the sky darkened and the moon and sun dimmed. For a time, it was difficult to determine the victor of the battle between the four generals and the demon race's Emperor Realm experts. At this time, endless devil energy suddenly appeared in the sky above the southern barbarian royal capital. The whole world suddenly darkened, and a terrifying aura of the devil path spread between the sky and the earth. A devilish figure appeared in the devil energy, and its blood-red eyes swept across the southern barbarian royal capital. What's going to come will come! Inside the southern barbarian royal capital, Lydia looked up at the devilish figure in the sky. Her mind was strangely calm. Thousands of years had passed, and she had grown into a slender and elegant girl. She wore a mask, so no one knew whether the goddess in their hearts was beautiful or ugly. Chapter 5503. What was meant to come had finally come. For thousands of years, Xiaoya, Long Xiaozhou, and the others had lived like there was no tomorrow. They were constantly worried that the limitless demon lord would invade the southern barbarian continent and kill them all. In their eyes, the limitless demon lord was a madman. For thousands of years, although the limitless demon lord did not act personally, his subordinates had never stopped operating in the southern barbarian continent. Of course, these were all small skirmishes. They could not do anything to Xiaoya and the others. But the situation now was different. The limitless demon lord actually ordered his subordinates to invade the southern barbarian continent, and the East King had submitted to the limitless demon lord. The three armies under the limitless demon lord attacked the southern barbarian royal capital with irresistible force. Wherever they passed, blood flowed like a river, and they surrounded the southern barbarian royal capital. However, Xiaoya and the others were not to be trifled with. The West Sea Old Dragon Monarch killed the Ghost Emperor of the North Ruins, and the Ghost Race army led by the Ghost Emperor of the North Ruins was completely annihilated. Only the East King and the Eastern Barbarian Demon Race were still fighting against the experts under Xiaoya's command. There were many experts in the Eastern Barbarian Demon Race. Moreover, the Eastern Barbarian Phoenix Race, which had been completely suppressed by Gu Fei for thousands of years, rose again. Back then, when Gu Fei destroyed the Phoenix Race, he did not kill all of them. He could not kill the old, weak, women, and children of the Phoenix Race. Therefore, thousands of years later, another sovereign appeared in the Phoenix Race. This person's name was Feng Yefei. The name he gave was very obvious. He was determined to destroy Gu Fei. Of course, with his current cultivation, he would not be Gu Fei's opponent even if he cultivated for tens of thousands of years. It was impossible for him to destroy Feng Yefei. However, this time, Feng Yefei was extremely brave among the experts of the Eastern Barbarian Demon Race. He killed Xiaoya's generals one after another, so Wu Jizhan had no choice but to take action. Wu Jizhan was the fourth of the four generals under Gu Fei. He was in the middle stage of the extreme grade, and he had the lowest cultivation among the four generals. "Little guy, how dare you give yourself such a name? You're courting death!" Wu Jizhan sneered. "Humph! I'll kill you today, and then I'll kill Gu Fei later." Feng Yefei stared at Wu Jizhan and said coldly, "Ha ha, you must be dreaming." Wu Jizhan burst into laughter. "Whether it's a dream or not, you'll know soon enough." Feng Yefei didn't want to waste any more words with Wu Jizhan. He took a step forward and a pair of wings instantly appeared on his back. With a flap of the wings, countless golden feathers on the wings flew up and turned into extremely sharp golden sword lights. The golden sword gleam pierced through Wu Jizhan. "Humph!" Wu Jizhan sneered. In the next moment, his body trembled and the void around him seemed to have suddenly distorted. A strange wave spread out in all directions. Then, the countless golden sword lights that were piercing towards Wu Jizhan suddenly disappeared. However, in the next instant, the golden sword lights that had disappeared suddenly reappeared. However, when the golden sword lights appeared again, they were no longer piercing towards Wu Jizhan. Instead, they turned around and pierced towards Feng Yefei. "How is this possible?" Feng Yefei was shocked. This fella could actually reverse his attack and use his killer move to kill him? How preposterous! If that's the case, isn't this guy invincible? With Feng Yefei's cultivation and experience, he could tell how powerful this was. A layer of cold sweat appeared on his forehead. "Buzz!" Feng Yefei flapped his wings and the void shook. A circle of golden light spread out in all directions. The golden sword lights that were piercing towards him dissipated under the golden light. "Eat my sword!" Feng Yefei roared and clasped his hands above his head. Then, he slashed at Wu Jizhan with all his might. Swoosh! A sword light that was several times sharper than the golden sword light from before rushed out from his hands. It soared for thousands of miles as though it was going to split the entire world in half. Sigh! Wu Jizhan shook his head helplessly and casually waved his right hand. The swift and fierce swordlight that was slashing at him changed its direction and slashed to the side. Wherever the swordlight passed, the void shook. This? Feng Yefei was really shocked. The mystique that Wu Zizhan executed was too heaven-defying. This mystique could actually shift and even reverse the opponent's attack. I told you, you are dreaming. You can't even kill me and you want to kill my master? Wu Zizhan mocked. Kill! Feng Niefei couldn't be bothered to talk nonsense with Wu Zizhan. He attacked again and charged towards Wu Zizhan. A golden phoenix shadow appeared on his body. At the next moment, boom! A ball of golden divine fire exploded from the phoenix shadow on Feng Niefei's body. Instantly, it enveloped the void within a radius of 100 miles. The golden divine fire that exploded instantly engulfed Wu Zizhan. A power of this level can't do anything to me. Wu Zizhan's voice came from the golden sea of fire. What? When Feng Niefei heard this, he couldn't help but be in disbelief. This Wu Zizhan didn't even care about his true phoenix fire? Just as Feng Niefei was in shock, a divine light broke through the layers of golden divine fire and slashed out. This saber light was extremely domineering. The saber light was like a dragon and instantly slashed towards Feng Niefei. It was extremely fast. Feng Niefei could only dodge because he knew that he couldn't take this attack at all. Swish! Wherever the saber light passed, blood could be seen. Feng Niefei's figure was retreating rapidly. No matter how fast he was, he couldn't dodge Wu Zizhan's attack. Wu Zizhan cultivated the saber Dao. His Heaven Breaker Demon Blade was a true extreme Dao treasure. Feng Niefei was injured. He was struck by Wu Zizhan's saber light, and the saber aura instantly invaded his body, extinguishing his vitality. A figure wielding a saber walked out from the endless golden divine fire. The terrifying divine fire that burned and distorted the void couldn't even get close to him. An extremely domineering saber Dao aura exploded from this figure. This person was Wu Zizhan. With the Heaven Breaker Demon Blade in his hand, he took a step forward and charged towards the retreating Feng Niefei. He wanted to finish this guy off. However, just as Wu Zizhan was about to catch up to Feng Niefei, a figure suddenly appeared in front of him and blocked his path. Another one who came to die! Chapter 5504. The four generals of Hongtian under Gu Fei were not to be trifled with. One should know that these four generals were the most powerful generals under Emperor Hongtian in the past. They had once followed Emperor Hongtian to conquer the world. The four generals of Hongtian could be said to be existences who had climbed out of a pile of corpses. They were extremely experienced in battle and there were few who could match them in the same realm. As for Feng Niefei of the Eastern Wilderness Phoenix clan, he had only broken through to the Emperor realm less than 1,000 years ago. How could he be a match for Wu Zizhan? Feng Niefei was no match for Wu Zizhan just as he got serious. After being struck by Wu Zizhan's blade, the terrifying blade aura penetrated his body and destroyed his vitality. Feng Niefei spat out a mouthful of blood and retreated immediately. However, Wu Zizhan would not let him go. He chased after Feng Niefei. With one more slash, he would be able to kill the new emperor of the Phoenix clan. However, there was someone who did not want Wu Zizhan to kill Feng Niefei. All of a sudden, a figure appeared in front of Wu Zizhan and blocked his path. Another one who wants to die! Wu Zizhan slashed his blade towards the person. Buzz! The demonic sky-splitting blade in Wu Zizhan's hand let out a loud hum. A sharp blade light rushed out from the divine blade in his hand and instantly turned into the shadow of a dragon that pounced towards the person. The blade light turned into a dragon. Wu Zizhan's slash was extremely domineering and indomitable. What? The person was shocked. In the next moment, a huge turtle shell rushed out from the person's body and instantly grew to the size of a mountain. Clang! Wu Zizhan's slash landed heavily on the turtle shell. A powerful blade aura exploded and the huge turtle shell actually fell from the slash. The person also fell from the sky. So it's an old turtle, Wu Zizhan said disdainfully. You bastard! How dare you look down on the Black Tortoise clan? A few powerful figures rushed out from the Eastern Wilderness Demon clan's army and roared at Wu Zizhan. TSK, just a bunch of old turtles. How dare you be so presumptuous in front of me? You must be tired of living. After saying that, Wu Zhijian slashed out with his blade towards the few black tortoise race experts. The blade light was like a bolt of lightning as it streaked across the void. The experts from the Black Tortoise clan were scared out of their wits. None of them expected Wu Zhijian to be so domineering. He wanted to kill someone just because they didn't agree with him. Roar! Just as the Black Tortoise experts were about to be killed by Wu Zhijian, an earth-shattering roar rang out. Then, the shadow of a dragon charged out from the Eastern Wilderness Demon Race's camp. The silhouette of the dragon opened its mouth and inhaled, swallowing Wu Zhijian's saber light in one gulp. When Wu Zhijian saw this, he wasn't shocked. Instead, he was delighted. Finally, someone who he could fight to his heart's content had appeared. If these fellows were as weak as Feng Miefei, then it would be too boring. When the silhouette of the dragon dissipated, a middle-aged man in golden armor appeared before Wu Zhijian. A powerful dragon energy spread out from the middle-aged man in golden armor. When Wu Zhijian saw the middle-aged man in golden armor, his eyes couldn't help but narrow. This middle-aged man in golden armor was just like him, a domineering person. I don't kill nameless people. Tell me your name. Wu Zhijian held the heaven-splitting demon saber in his hand horizontally as he stared at the middle-aged man and spoke coldly. At this moment, the few experts from the Black Tortoise race were shocked and overjoyed to have escaped from death. Dragon Supreme, we will never forget your kindness in saving our lives. If Dragon Supreme has any errands for us, we will be willing to risk our lives for you. The few experts from the Black Tortoise race hurriedly bowed to the middle-aged man in golden armor. All of them were extremely respectful towards him. The middle-aged man in golden armor didn't even look at the few experts from the Black Tortoise race. The few experts from the Black Tortoise race didn't dare to show any dissatisfaction as they retreated immediately. You are the Dragon Supreme of the Eastern Wilderness Dragon race? Wu Zhijian's expression turned solemn. Based on what he knew, the Dragon Supreme of the Eastern Wilderness Dragon race wasn't a person's name. Instead, it was a title within the Eastern Wilderness Dragon race. It was a supreme title within the Eastern Wilderness Dragon race. However, this title wasn't something that could be obtained easily. Dragon Supreme, the supreme being of the dragon race. This title represented the supreme status of the dragon race. He was the number one person in the dragon race and could stand on equal footing with the dragon race leader. Wu Zhijian naturally didn't dare to be careless when facing such a powerful expert from the dragon race. You are not a match for me. The middle-aged man in golden armor looked at Wu Zhijian indifferently as he spoke. What did you say? Wu Zhijian was instantly enraged. They hadn't even fought and this guy was already saying that he wasn't a match for him? This guy was too arrogant. I'm speaking the truth. If you don't want to die, scram. Dragon Supreme said impatiently. Wu Zhijian was completely enraged. This guy actually dared to look down on him. He tightened his grip on the saber and was about to strike. Do you think I'm a sick cat if I don't show my prowess? Fourth brother, back off. At that moment, an imposing voice came from behind Wu Zhijian. Big brother. Wu Zhijian immediately stopped. The person who had spoken was Wu Zhixian, the leader of the 4 great generals of Hongtian. He was also the one with the highest cultivation among the 4 great generals of Hongtian. I told you to back off. Seeing that Wu Zhijian was still hesitating, Wu Zhixian was a little displeased and his tone became stern. Yes, big brother. Wu Zhijian glared fiercely at Longzuan, who was standing opposite him, before retreating unwillingly. You're not bad. Do you dare to fight me? Dragon Supreme asked calmly as he looked at a person who was walking out of the opposing camp. If you want to fight, let's fight. Why are you being so long-winded? Wu Zhixian said as he took a step forward and instantly appeared in front of Dragon Supreme. Then, he threw a punch at Dragon Supreme. It was a simple and direct punch. There wasn't even any fluctuation of vital energy coming from Wu Zhixian's fist. It seemed as though Wu Zhixian had casually thrown out a punch. However, Longzuan's pupils shrunk when he saw the punch. Wu Zhixian's punch contained the power of an eternal grade great path. If an ordinary extreme-grade martial artist were to be hit by this punch, his or her body and soul would be destroyed immediately. Over the past thousands of years, Wu Jixian had not been playing around. Dragon Supreme didn't dare to be careless. He also threw a punch. A huge golden dragon shadow surged out of his body. Unlike Wu Jixian's punch, Dragon Supreme's punch was extremely powerful, and the fluctuation of vital energy was earth-shattering. They were simply two extremes. Bam! With a dull sound, the two fists collided. Then, a violent wave of vital energy swept out in all directions with the two of them at the center. Everyone stared at the two figures in the sky nervously. The experts from both camps had no choice but to retreat far away, afraid that they would be affected by the shockwaves from the clash. One had to know that this was the power of an eternal grade martial artist, which represented the transcendent Emperor realm. At that moment, no one knew that a figure had silently appeared in the distant sky. These four fellows have improved a lot. You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.